communism is primed for countries like England, America.
Communism never works, but it's such an easy idea.
Here in America, communism is rising. Today we're going to be asking people here in New York City.
Here's guys, we gotta stop this, man. Communism is not good here in America. 250 years because of capitalism. Now and this other BS, this Democrat socialist trying to push. We cannot just keep on going. Vote red, you guys. This stuff is serious. It's not a joke no more. It's not a joke. You got Bernie Sanders out here tripping. You got people like Bill Murray. You got people like I think even Van Jones is like, yeah, that they going too far with this. So hope they go ahead and continue. This is Nick Shirley, you guys already know. He be coming with it.
City about the rise of socialism, the Democrat Socialists of America. There's lots of ideas that are going and being spread around across the United States that revolve around communism. So today we're asking people here in New York City, from college students to lawyers. We'll be talking to everybody about the rise of communism here inside of America. Let's get into it. Let's start talking to people here and wait till the very end because it gets very interesting. Let's go. Your laptop right here says, "This machine kills fascist."
Yeah.
Right now we have a rise of communism here inside of America. What do you think about the rise
of communism?
Communism ideas, socialist-like ideas. The DSA is very prominent nowadays.
I think it's a good thing. I mean, you're in the home of democratic socialists in Greenwich Village. This is where it began and where it's thrived and where it's been thriving for over 100 years. So this is the home of it, and I hope it spreads through the country. The more that we take care of each other, the better we are collectively going to be.
Do you think if we tax the rich more, we'll have more resources to give out to those that need?
Obviously, it's so freaking stupid. The billionaires are not paying taxes. And if they just paid their share, we would have healthcare for all, for instance.
And what do you think about, for instance, a lot of people say like we need to tax the billionaires more, but then we also see all this fraud that's taking place here inside the United States. Do you think if they just got rid of fraud, we'd have enough resources for everyone?
Just because some thieves are stealing some stuff doesn't mean that we should stop the system and stop taxing people and stop helping people. Just because some people cheat doesn't mean you should wipe out the system.
And since Zoran's taken office, there's been about a lot of millionaires and billionaires have left the city. Now it's estimated that there's like $11 billion that will no longer be able to get collected from taxes here inside New York City. Do you think by taxing the rich, more people will flee New York?
No, and I don't believe those numbers. Everybody wants to be here, so there's no reason for them to leave.
What do you think about the rise of communism here inside New York City and across America?
It's deplorable. Absolutely deplorable that we're allowing this to happen. Everyone needs to just grow up and wake up.
What do you think about the rise of communism here inside of the United States?
The rise of communism? That would be hard for me to answer unless we have a shared definition of communism.
Yeah, so for instance, right now here in New York City, they're now freezing the rent. They want Medicare for all. That's free Medicare. They want to tax the rich, redistribute the wealth. Zoran Mandami, he also wants prisoners to get released. He's trying to get rid of Rikers Island and abolishing private ownership in some cases as well.
Okay, thank you for this definition. My thoughts are pretty positive. I feel aligned. I can't really speak to specifics, but I think I'm pretty pro-communism. I'm pro making things accessible. I'm pretty pro getting rid of prisons.
How can we like to get rid of prisons?
Well, like the system of criminality is a very strange way to interact with like, I guess, humanity in general, and like things that as a species we're not interested in, like perpetuating. I think it's kind of backwards. And so I'm not certain what prisons are actually doing for our society. And so...
Would you like to have criminals out in the open?
Well, do I want criminals out in the open? Sure. I'm fine with that because the idea of a criminal is like a little bit funny to me.
Let's just say somebody who has raped a woman.
Totally.
Would you like them to be out in the street?
I think my answer is yes, even though that's a challenging answer to say.
So if you got raped, would you like your rapist to be out in the street?
Well, like, let me finish. Because I have been raped, and they are out in the street. And I'm not sure, like, them going to jail is a solution to like whatever's going on inside their heart, or even my own heart, that like contributed to that experience that I'm having. And I don't want more people to get raped, but I don't know for certain that going into a jail in the United States is going to shift anything inside of their like operating system so that they'll make a different choice again.
Wow, well, thank you guys so much for your time. And is there one last message you'd like to give to the people about the rise of communism or freeing the people inside the prisons?
Good morning, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Name is Deontay. Welcome to the chat. As you guys can see, Nick Shirley be on it when it comes to these interviews. These people are insane. Communism does not work. It does not. And they know this, but they so brainwashed with this ideology that doesn't exist. That I'm lost for words, man. This lady is really insane. You gotta pray for this woman. And she's a voter. She got raped and she thinking it's okay.
Just like free yourself from the own prison in your heart, and then maybe somewhere.
So underneath the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, they actually want to defund the police and abolish prisons. In fact, Zora Mandami was watching the World Cup with prisoners of Rikers Island. That lady she even said it herself, just to be on the street. It's a bit crazy. Can you be a communist and also be an American patriot at the same time?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
What do you think about the rise of ideas like communism and socialism here inside of America?
Are you serious? Do you think that that's a serious concern?
Yeah, I do actually. For instance, there's like a big group called DSA, Democrat Socialists of America.
Right.
And right now they just published a thing saying they want to get rid of President, Senate, and Supreme Court.
It sounds so radical, like abolish the Senate, abolish the Supreme Court, like et cetera, but it's not. Like those are the things that need to happen in order to have a political system that actually like works for working people.
So whenever people are like, oh my God, they want to get rid of the president, I was like, well, I don't know what we would call it in the future. We could call it the head honcho of whatever.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. That sounds like an extreme position. I don't think kind of socialism in America is represented generally by that point of view. So
The mayor of New York is a member of DSA. What do you think about the rise of communism here inside of America? The ideas of communism.
I don't think I would agree with the premise of the question.
How would you rephrase it?
Or let me just answer that I don't think communism is rising in America.
What do you think about some of the ideas that are becoming very popular here inside the United States?
I'm a professor here at NYU, and I can tell you those are not communist ideas, right? Those ideas can belong to a social justice agenda or a left liberal agenda, but I wouldn't describe those as communism. So I think in order for your question to work, the assumption that communism equals those things needs to be rectified.
You got these professors and these teachers and stuff like that. They're also agreeing with this kind of stuff and stuff
We
like
just
that.
talked to a professor at NYU, and she said those are more like left-leaning ideas. She didn't refer to them as socialist or communist-like ideas.
Oh, of course, yeah. To me, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's just different degrees of it. That's all.
What's the truth about the rise of communism here inside the United States?
There's a few things. So one, a lot of our younger generation, they've been taught about Nazism and fascism. They have not been taught about communism. They have not seen the little black book of communism. They've not seen the piles of skulls. They have no idea. People like myself are actually from Russia. We know what the reality of communism is. To them, it's this la-di-da sort of fantasy life. After all, Karl Marx himself was an unemployed loser who sat there writing about things that he was just making up, pontificating. There was no connection between him and reality, not at all. So that's one thing, right? The other thing is that we have, I think someone called John Doyle, who's on the internet, he refers to it as, gay race communism, right? So it's not just white liberals with communism. It's now also this like weird anti-white, anti-oppression, this idea that the only way to make up for some sort of white guilt people have is to redistribute assets, and it has to be done in these kind of multicultural, sort of largely failing cities. And then there's a third thing, and I think this thing is something that's very scary and we have to really be aware of.
And remember this guy, because we'll be coming back to him in just a moment. He actually has something very interesting to share. And while we're making this video, we want to make sure that all perspectives and opinions are heard. And one way I do this is by using a tool called Opus Clip. Opus is more than just an AI clipper. They're actually the fastest and most powerful million views all through Opus Clip. It's super. The link in the description or in the pinned comment down below. And now let's get back into the video.
And then there's a third thing, and I think this thing is something that's very scary and we have to really be aware of. Not everyone knows about this. It's called the Red-Green Alliance, which is basically that Islamism, which is very much focused on conquering the West, has seen that the best way to infiltrate the West is to undermine its nationalist institutions through communism, because communism always inherently has been anti-nationalist and has been obsessively humanist and obsessively egalitarian, right? So it wants to abolish borders, it wants to abolish nations. It's all about class and it's all about everyone being one soup of humanity. And these Islamists are smart. People don't know this. In the 79 Islamic Revolution in Iran, the Ayatollahs rallied all the students with communism. We're going to be together. And then the minute they overthrew the Shah, all their heads were cut off. That was the end of that.
And why do you think communism is kind of on the rise here inside the United States?
Fear. Americans are scared. They're scared of losing what they have. They're afraid of minorities. They're afraid of women's rights or women. So I think it's all fear-based. I am married into a family who escaped communism, and we are far from that. I think people like to throw around the word communism because they want to scare people so that they won't vote for other things because of fear of communism.
And right now, here in the biggest city of America, you have a mayor who is a member of the Democrat Socialists of America.
That's right.
What's the truth about this organization?
The truth is that if you actually look in Africa or Southeast Asia, you will find some of the most horrifically totalitarian regimes have the word democratic in it. It turns out that putting the word democratic into something doesn't actually make it democratic. In fact, if it was democratic, you probably wouldn't have to call it that in the first place, right? So, the democratic socialists are just a form of communism trying to pretend that, oh, well, we're just like Norway. Well, first of all, Norway is, funny how they use Norway as an example, it's like 90% white. But second of all, Norway has a very high tax rate, despite having very high average income to begin with. What they are just communists with that racial sort of animus. There is really no collectivist movement that is A, not Marxist, and B, and they admit this, they say we're trained Marxist, and B, there is no socialist movement that is not, the idea of a democratic socialist is comical, because socialism is about the seizure or control of private property. You can't vote your way out of rights. You can't, it's not democratic because you use the force of government to seize people's assets or to regulate their assets into non-existence. That's not democratic. That's autocratic.
And some of these ideas right now that are being pushed, like government grocery stores, or seizing the property of individuals, freezing the rent, abolishing prisons, defunding the police. What is that in reality?
Well, in reality, there's this very strange sort of Olinsky, they call it ideal, where you basically, you actively destabilize society in order to get people in their desperation and misery to turn to the same government that destabilized it for more help. The goal is to get people as dependent on this as possible. If you look at the most racist right-wing movements, the one thing they do is they kick people who they don't agree with out. Socialists don't want to kick anybody out. They want to force rich people that don't agree to stay because they need their money to maintain the system. But all these things, I mean, think about the madness of this. What that's run by government? Go to your DMV. Does that run well? Now imagine everything run like the DMV. Are these states any better? Is it better to live like this?
We've talked to a lot of college-age students and people that work at colleges today, and they say this isn't really a rise of communism. They say it's more like left-leaning ideas.
Of course it's communism. You can try to name it anything you want. The distinctions are pathetically non-existent. You argue, well, no, we're not like a communist. We just want to vote you into having no property and like the government controlling everything, but it's not communist. The name is not what matters. What matters is what it is. And what it is excessive government control over every aspect of your life.
What do you guys think about capitalism?
This is a really good question. Yeah, this is crazy. I would say that capitalism, in its true form, not awful, but right now we're currently in late stage capitalism, and that's affecting everybody. The cost of a bagel should not be $7. The cost of a matcha should not be $10. And currently, so much of America is living paycheck to paycheck on minimum wage, and minimum wage is no longer even covering the cost of life, like necessities like rent and groceries. And that's clear that capitalism isn't effective in our daily lives anymore.
And what would be your solution?
I think, what Mamdani is doing right now is really great, like trying to make things more accessible, trying to encourage like rent stabilization, even making like, I know it hasn't happened yet, but like the bus fare is free. Little things like that, trying to control the price of groceries. Like those are the things that we can do that are small but have a huge impact on people's daily lives.
And how come we're starting to see this rise of Democrat socialism? Or some people even say it's like the rise of communism.
Like, why are we seeing it?
Yeah, why do you think it's becoming a popular issue?
Oh, I mean, I think it's because people are finally like realizing that capitalism isn't working anymore, especially late stage capitalism. Like, people know that they're paying most of their paycheck on their rent and their groceries, and then they're no longer able to have a fun bagel or go out and get a drink with their friends because a beer is $12. Like, people see it in their daily lives and they're realizing that this is no longer working for them. And I also think that with the rise of the internet, people are able to see how this is working for countries in Europe, where they do have free healthcare and they do have, low grocery prices, low cost of living prices, and they're still able to afford being a human being.
Would you rather have capitalism or communism?
Well, communism as it is in the Marx Engels Communist Manifesto has never been implemented in society. They say in the Communist Manifesto that communism is primed for countries like England, America, and I think the Netherlands as it was, when they wrote it in the 1800s. So when they implemented it in Russia and China, they bypassed the sort of systems of industrialization needed to make communism effective. And so I think that we've never seen communism work. We've never been able to see it work in systems where it's applicable. And so I don't think I can answer that question correctly without fully seeing a system of communism in effect.
Would you like to see a fully communist America?
I think that there's so much in our system right now that would not allow for that, and I think that being especially a quick switch would not work, but I would like to see late stage capitalism kind of taken back a little bit.
Out of China, Soviet Union, Cuba, Venezuela, what's been your favorite form of communism?
Well, again, like I said before, those aren't real forms of communism.
Why do you think oftentimes people flee communist countries like Venezuela, like Cuba, to come into a capitalist country like America?
Because it's not real communism. When you have those states in effect where it's not actual communism, it's more authoritarianism and totalitarianism, and these regimes emerge also by a byproduct of American interventionism. People aren't happy because there's clear inequalities that exist. People are unable to live, and that's why they flee these countries. Again, not real communism. So I don't think it's fair to say that people are fleeing these communist countries when in reality it's a totally different state of affairs.
We've talked to a lot of these younger folks over by NYU, and some of them said that they don't think there's such a thing as a rise in communism.
Because they actually never lived it. They don't know what it's like. I'm not saying they're not educated. They're book educated.
Yeah, they don't think communism is even rising here. Yet the mayor of New York City has said that he's actively freezing the rents. He wants to have government-run grocery stores. That's something you'd see in Cuba or Venezuela. Not something you'd see here inside the United States. We already have food stamps.
Well, he already said he was going to do free groceries. Now they're not free anymore. Now they're discounted. So
Also, he said about free MTA, mass transit. Can't do that either.
They also want to start taxing the rich even more. Do you think we should tax the rich more, or should we eliminate the fraud that's happening here inside the United States?
she'll eliminate the fraud in a lot of the programs that are not hitting who needs it.
The rich people have carried, and I'm only going to say New York, carried this state for a long time. Now it's just starting to see people are moving out. Companies, you got Chase that went down to Texas. You got half of the stock market that went down to Texas. So it's just black and white right there.
What do you think about the rise of communism here inside the United States?
Well, it's actually a reality. And not a lot of people take it seriously, I will say. For example, my background, right? I was born in Peru, South America. So I actually know how it is to live because I was born in the 85. So I saw how bad it is and how it affects people.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for stopping by. We gotta stop this communist bullshit, you guys. This shit ain't cool. The young generation is thinking it's okay, and it's not. You know, it doesn't work and never will work. Look at Berlin. I'm saying it right. It don't work.
Actually, right? I came over
What
here
up,
when I was very
Saucy? What up,
young. I
everybody?
served in the
What up?
military, right? I'm a veteran, and I see what's happening. People think that they have everything for granted. They don't really appreciate what it costs to fight for freedom. When you get out of here, like when I was deployed, right, you see what the real world is, you know? People fighting in different countries just for a piece of food or water.
So would you say to those people that don't think what's going on is a rise of communism, would you say they're being misled?
Oh, absolutely. It's just that they don't care. And actually, when they see people like, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but the mayor we have, right? All the promises, he's telling people free buses, free this, free that. Again, where's the money coming from? There's no money, you know? And instead of that, now you're raising...
Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. It's 30 people in the chat. Why not get 30 subscribers? You guys see what I'm doing. It's good shit, good stuff for you guys. I got plenty of videos. I live stream about 2 to 3 hours, if not longer. Let's get it. Common Sense channel. Educational. Common sense. Let's get it.
Taxes, right? And all the people, wealthy people, that actually creates jobs to make more money going somewhere else. Now where you get the money from?
Why do you think communism is on the rise, and what do you think about communism?
I think communism sells. It's such a simple idea and message. It obviously doesn't work at all, but it's something that you could so easily say to a young, naive college person or young person in general. You can say everything should be free, and healthcare should be free, and universal, and education should be free, but people don't really understand the ramifications behind that statement. So, I mean, this is nothing new. People have been trying to sell the idea of socialism and communism for years and years and years. I mean, obviously, in pre-Soviet Russia, you had communism. That's where a lot of it started. You had the Mensheviks and the Bolsheviks. And the Mensheviks were kind of like your mainstream, run-of-the-mill Democrat. And then you had the Bolsheviks. This was way back in like the 1800s, 1900s. And the Bolsheviks came in. They were kind of like the DSA activists of today. And they said, well, the Mensheviks and the Democrats aren't being radical enough, and they aren't promising you all the things that we're promising you. We can give you free education and universal health care and all of these great things, and then they never deliver. So that happened back in the day. It's just like a recurring ideology. History is a big fat circle, and it's happening again because it's such an easy thing to sell, but it's never worked. Didn't work in Russia or the Soviet Union or China or Venezuela. Communism never works, but it's such an easy idea to try to convince people to vote others in with. So I hope that people read because those who know history do not repeat it. So we just have to teach kids why it doesn't work.
What does it mean to be a part of the DSA and be a Democrat Socialist? What's that actually mean?
So DSA is the Democratic Socialists of America, and it's very, very scary. And the Democratic Socialists of America, they are using the Democratic wing of politics to Trojan horse all of their ideas through, but they're very different than mainstream Democrats. What these Democratic Socialists of America want to do is usher in communism and destroy America from within. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that, because there are many DSA members who are online all over X, you can look it up, saying we want to take down the American empire from within. We want to destroy Western civilization. They're vastly different from the left. They want to destroy all of the institutions that we hold near and dear here in America. They basically want to root out everything that our founders worked so hard to build and start again, just like the Bolsheviks did way back in the day. Repeating cycle, it's terrible.
Interesting fact came out that Zohar Mandami actually makes more than the vice president and people like Pete Hegseth.
This is what's most hilarious to me, because he is an immigrant from Uganda. He came here and is experiencing one of the greatest American dream success stories. So his parents were not from here.
He also says America was built on white supremacy.
He said that? Of course he did. They all say that, but it's not. So he's an immigrant from Uganda, came here and is making more money than the vice president of the United States as the mayor of New York City, and he wants to tax you more money. but they never look inward. So the thing with these champagne socialists is they're always going to be looking to grab money from anybody but themselves, and they're going to enrich themselves in the process. So I'm not surprised at all that he's making more money than our vice president and many other high-ranking political officials. And what is Mamdani doing? He's the mayor of New York City. He's basically in charge of the subway systems, the trash cans, and keeping the streets clean. Somehow he's still managing to mess all of it up. But his role is not that intrusive, yet he's making so much money. And before this, his only other job was that he was a rapper.
Yeah.
We need to bring back merit, and we need to kick these socialists out of the country.
You ever watch somebody argue against something so basic that it starts to feel personal? Not because the facts are complicated, but because the person refusing them needs to confusion the state. That's what this is, right? We're looking at, these different moments where the same mindset keeps showing up on crime numbers, on money, on identity, and on something as simple as showing your ID. No loan setup, so let's go.
Per capita is literally just a way to manipulate the data to make you look better for referencing purposes. We're not going to alter the data pool and say, instead of doing the raw data, let's use per capita for the white people. Let's do per capita so the white people don't look as bad on paper. If you turn it upside down, it doesn't look like we're raping as many kids as you say we are. Every time you say per capita, you're basically saying disregard those other 30,000 rapes. Those don't count. They very much so count. They very much so count. All of those children count. All of those families that were murdered, they all count. It's very sad that the first way that you want to respond, maybe I'm the wrong messenger, but I don't see any White Lives Matter movement or Stop Raping Our Children movement in your communities or All Rapes Matter. I don't see anything like that. Maybe y'all do need to start something. Y'all do. You don't like the fact that this black girl is telling you about how y'all need to stop raping your kids, but you do. And you can go over and do the semantics of per capita versus raw data all you want. The Epstein files still look like you, not me.
So the first one is quick. She's just explaining why she rejects the idea of per capita. She says using per capita dismisses most of the data on white crime. Like adjusting for population size is some kind of trick. That's not how numbers work. That's how feelings work when the raw totals make one group look better than the story requires. Every serious conversation about crime in America starts with rates for a reason. Refusing that step doesn't protect victims. It just protects the narrative. And we're not here to do anything other than out the truth. Now, watch what happens when the same type of thinking gets challenged with actual data in a debate setting.
That even black kids that come from the wealthiest families, right, still commit just almost the same amount of crime, or even more, for example, than white kids that come from $30,000 median household income.
All right, Evan, I see you push your button. Which claim would you like fact checked?
That black kids from wealthy neighborhoods commit as much or if not more violent crime than kids from sub 30K households
that are white.
The verdict is in, and that is false.
That's not false, but
there is no data. Wait for it. There's no data to directly support this claim. It is overly broad and is not backed by data.
I bet you it can take me 10 seconds to find the source. It's just too inflammatory for them.
Okay, we can check after the show.
Yeah, I'm not going to admit that.
And even then, it might still be wrong.
This kid was so furious that the inherent criminality of the Negro was proven to be false. His raccoon chip was blinging off. He really wanted the Negro problem to be real. Nigga mad as hell that black people aren't as violent as he thinks they.
You said Trump offered $3 billion as he took office. Okay, well, that's different. That's not the money from us as taxpayers. That's money outside of being the president. And then guess what? Who cares? Obama came in with 100,000. Now he's worth what, 300 million? Living in Martha's Vineyard. Stop it.
They are. Shouldn't you go back to your seat relieved? Wow, we're not as destructive as white supremacy has taught me we are. Wow, I have some misconceptions about my own people.
Okay, what about
I have some soul searching. No, he's mad. He's big mad. On another note, I'm Jubilee has this new fact-checking theme, so people can get
So Obama,
their
that person is home.
misinformation
Get
or
the fuck out of
debunked
here.
in real time.
Obama is
On the flip
tripping.
side, I'm kind of upset that
Him
Jubilee
and Big Mike.
exists, and I'm hoping one day that
Big
we will
Mike's the
be
kingpin.
delivered from debate pornography and debate perversion, but a man can only dream.
Okay, so he walked in with the claim that black kids from wealthy families still commit crimes at the same or higher rates than poor white kids. The specific data they put in front of him didn't back that exact version of the claim. And you can see he did that frustration land. But let's not pretend the bigger picture is somehow unclear. Black Americans are roughly 13 to 14% of the population. Year after year, we account for around 50 to 56% of known homicide offenders. In 2024, it was about 56.4%. The black homicide victimization rate sits over 6 times higher than the white rate. Robbery numbers follow the same pattern. Income, reduces the gap. It doesn't erase it. Multiple long-term studies show black youth from higher wealth households still end up incarcerated at rates higher than poor white youth. The disparity shrinks when you control for money in neighborhood. The disparity shrink.
You guys in the chat, you trolls are funny. First, y'all tell us how you putting it. You care about what Trump makes all of a sudden. Why do you care about what Trump makes? You didn't vote for him. Why concerned about what he makes? That's crazy. Y'all know all about this stuff about Trump. When it comes to Biden, y'all don't know about Biden. That Biden was not there when he first ran. He was not there at all. But y'all voted the man in. As soon as the man came in, he fall up the stairs, down the stairs, shaking hands with ghosts. Forgot where to go on the stage. It's just crazy. Secret Service, you got to chase the man around the White House. It got to the point where you don't see Joe Biden in the White House. They had his ass, in the basement. Sleepy Joe was in the basement the whole goddamn time. The man was at the beach in Delaware the whole goddamn time. Shit crazy. Y'all are so obsessed with Trump. We voted for Trump, but you guys are obsessed with Trump. And then about it is, since I played the video, I really too much didn't play anything about Trump. I just said the title is about communism. Communism is bad. Get rid of it. Stop it. And you guys about Trump. I ain't mentioned about Trump. I got a Trump hat on, but I ain't mentioned about Trump in the video, so he played it. And this is the second video. You guys are obsessed with Trump, and that's crazy. You liberals, you Democrats. I ain't played not one Trump video yet, but you guys keep bringing them up. That's funny.
When you control for money in neighborhood, that's the end of the sentence. I don't know where I was going with that. It does not disappear, but refusing to say it out loud doesn't protect anybody. It just leaves the people most affected by the violence arguing about everything except the actual numbers. Now, this next one moves the conversation from numbers to who even gets to speak on them.
Between Jasmine Crockett and Haley Stevens supporters, the way that blackness has been used as an attack dog against progressives by the establishment has been so obvious lately and so ugly.
The black leftist playbook. Have someone speak on blackness in America that isn't even a descendant of slavery, trying to speak on the racism in American politics that they don't even know about, and then it proceeds to allow all of these white people to be openly racist and say the shit they always wanted to say to.
Hey, I thank you for the name calling. I'm not dumb. By you calling me dumb, it's going to show that you're dumb. You know how many people in Chicago died compared to 16 people in Iraq? Black on black crime in Chicago is outrageous. So don't call me dumb. You one is dumb. You talking about motherfucking Iraq. We got people in Chicago right now dying. Black on black crime. Babies being aborted. Come on, man. Stop the bullshit. Stop the selective outrage, bro. Welcome to the chat. At least subscribe and like to the channel. Let's continue.
In secret. That is what these black leftists do time and time again, because Samaya, as she has that Nigerian flag in her bio, is not a descendant of slavery. So why the fuck are you trying to speak on shit you don't even know about? That's what blows me with these people. I'm sorry, if you are not a descendant of slavery, I do not want to hear your take on racism in America.
You can tell these people are bored because, like, if you so much of a liberal and Democrat and you love communists, why are you in a conservative chat? It makes no sense because you're not going to change my chat or channel to a certain tone. The tone's going to stay the same regardless. It's crazy.
Because you did not go through the same experience that our ancestors went through. And a lot of your parents came over here and never taught y'all about blackness, never taught you about black American culture and all that. And majority of you only learned it through the shit you went through in schools. So please miss me with this. Y'all are black enough to be able to speak on that experience. Unless you are a descendant of slavery, I do not want to hear your takes on blackness in America when it comes to politics.
Okay, so there's a growing habit of people with completely different historical experiences speaking with full authority about the Black American experience, specifically the one shaped by slavery in the aftermath in this country. Live reality isn't transferable just because the skin matches. And if I'm being honest, our live reality isn't that of slavery or that of oppression. And when that distinction gets treated like gatekeeping, the conversation, it just stops being honest. Now we shift from identity to incentives. Watch this. Watch how clean this one is.
Well, this is well put. Do you think that you assume that Republicans are the party of the rich and Democrats are the party of the poor?
I think so. I think if I were a multi-millionaire, I would probably try to see the side of Republicans. I don't know why. Like I said, it's just those stigmas.
Let me ask you a follow-up question. If I know that I'm the party of the poor, what does it benefit me to try to make sure that you're rich?
It don't.
It don't. Exactly. And so my policies are going to align with that, keeping you poor. That's why you have systems like the welfare program, where you can't earn over a certain amount or you lose your benefits. So I'm going to keep you poor because I'm the party of the poor and I need your vote. Whereas if I'm the party of the rich, I have every incentive to make sure that you become rich if I want your vote. I need to put more money in your pocket. I need you to understand that you can make as much money as you want to. I need to put systems in place that get out of your way when you're trying to open up your business. You know, I don't need to put a million regulations in place if you're a barber and make it impossible for you to get a license or go and work in a shop. I need you to make as much money as you can, and I need to step out of your way so that you can be successful if I'm the party of the rich and I want your vote. If I'm the party of the poor, I have every incentive to keep you poor. So I'm going to put more regulations in place. I'm going to make it as hard as possible for you to get a license to open up your shop. I'm going to make it as hard as possible for you to escape these taxes. I'm going to make sure that every roadblock possible is in your way, because once you become rich, I no longer have your vote.
It's almost like it's a well thought out, calculated plan.
So he breaks down the welfare structure in plain terms. When the system pays more for staying in place, then, hey, I need you to turn the TV down, son. Turn it down a little bit more. But when the system pays more for staying in place than it does for moving forward, people respond to that signal. That's not a moral failure either. That's basic human behavior. Calling it a calculated plan isn't conspiracy. It's just observing what the rules actually reward. And the people designing those rules have never had to live under them. This next voice, my guy Vince, he ain't soft about it at all.
Almost like when the Germans found out that the Jews are putting the Nazis are putting Jews in ovens. Some of them said, a lot of them knew, but a lot of them said we didn't know this. They didn't know this was going to happen. They never read Mein Kampf. They'd heard of it. Some had, but many of them said they didn't know it. So a lot of black Democrats just don't know that the Democratic Party is against school choice. They want to take your guns away. They want open borders. They want to have grown men go into the bathroom and watch your wives and your children urinate. How many of them run on that? You will watch them when they ask them about LGBTQ, how they try to dance around it. Do you believe men can have babies? Do you believe men can have babies? What? Do you believe men? But they don't want to say it. Do you believe that men should participate in women's sports? Well, they want to dance because they know they can't say it. They can never get caught on camera saying it because they know what happened to Kamala Harris when she got caught saying it. Donald Trump doubled his black vote. Matter of fact, because of people like me, Donald Trump is gaining traction everywhere. He's losing traction everywhere in America, except where? The black community. He's gaining it there. Why? Because we're taking the mask off of the Democratic Party. And AOC is going to take it off. And when she takes it off, they're done. So they gotta take her out. So the Civil War...
Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, everybody. Name is Deontay. Everybody is welcome.
In the Democratic Party, it's fun to watch, man. That's some inside baseball. So South Carolina is going to have the first Democratic Party primary. The black folks that vote Democrat in South Carolina are going to vote for whoever decrepit, old, senile Jim Clyburn tell them to. Because most of the young people in South Carolina are going to be voting in the Republican primary. Democrat Party's lost them. But the old chicken-eating black Democrats from the Civil Rights Movement, who Jim Clyburn controls, they're going to always vote the way Jim tell them to.
So he's pointing at something most people dance around. Large numbers of black Democrats have never actually read the platform they're loyal to. Open borders, restrictions on, school choice, grown men and women's spaces and in sports. These aren't fringe positions, they're current ones, right? And the dancing around the question isn't...
Yeah, as long as the government still giving they benefits, the SNAP and Section 8, they don't keep on voting blue no matter who. And that's the problem. They don't care if they socialists or communists. They don't do no research. They in their feelings. That's the problem. And the Democratic Party, they said to themselves, they led by women. The women are their number one voters, and we know why. They don't got no fucking job.
Accidental. It's recognition that saying the quiet positions out loud costs votes. Now, the mask only stays on when the base doesn't ask the hard questions. That's all I'm saying. Now, this last one is the most straightforward of them all.
You guys have an ID?
Yeah, an ID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have a form of identification.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's racist to ask every American citizen to present an ID when they go to vote in federal elections?
No.
No? Why not?
I mean, you shouldn't be able to vote if you're not a citizen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? And that's not racist, right?
No.
How would it affect minorities? Minorities can't get an ID?
Good, bro. Go talk to someone else.
Okay, all right. Maybe you need to think about what you're about to say, because you're about to tell me that minorities cannot obtain ID, which is super prejudiced.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
You want to correct me, then maybe I'm wrong. That's not what you were going to say?
I think you can go talk to somebody else. I'm good here.
Oh, you're a minority. Are you affected when we implement voter ID?
Not at all.
No?
No.
Hey, she's a minority. I mean, you are too. She said that she's not affected by voter ID.
I'm good. I'm done. That's the end of the conversation.
He had to be confronted with his prejudice.
They don't like logic.
Yeah, I'm 43 years old. I'm a generation, where my family was on welfare. I got a chance, growing up little, having the food stamp books in my hand, going to where now, we already got the card. I seen the transition. That shit crazy. But they want to get off this shit. They want to stay on it. Then blame the government when things happen. Stop voting for stupid shit. Stop voting blue no matter who. And then my grandma, she's 98? Yeah, at the time, I guess, when she was voting blue at the time, I guess it was cool. And she kept telling everybody, in the family, including me, go ahead and vote Democrat. I'm like, Grandma, who to vote for? Democrat. Oh, okay. That was it. As I got older, I started seeing the bullshit. I'm like, wait a minute, it's the party of slavery? It's the party we're against everything the Constitution was offering us black Americans. Well, us black Americans. They went against it every goddamn time, but nobody want to do no research. Their excuse is, it switched. It never fucking switched. It's the fucking voters that switched. They want fucking free shit. That's the problem. They want no fucking work, and they want to complain when you can't get a fucking Red Bull. Get off the fucking snap and buy as many Red Bulls as you want to. It's not that hard. And that's the problem. These people that's voting too. If you don't get no fucking job, you shouldn't be voting. This is the problem. These people keep on voting Democrat because they want to keep on getting the SNAP and the Section 8. They shouldn't be voting at all. That's bogus as hell. And our politicians need to have some fucking jobs too. They can't just go straight from college and become a politician and then tell us blue collar workers out here how to do and make money and how to save. Like, motherfucker, you never had none of these things. You never sacrificed or lost anything. What are you talking about? Vote this person up out here, I mean, vote this person in. And that's the problem. We let these people in based on color or based on looks and not checking these people out really. Like, man, this person, has he worked at McDonald's at least one point in his lifetime? Has he worked at a factory or a warehouse? Anything, to get his little hands dirty or her hands dirty. And most of these politicians hasn't. And that's what's fucking up this whole situation. It's the people we put in power. And guess what? We the people, we got the power. They don't.
So you have an ID though.
I have an ID.
You think voter ID laws for for federal elections are racist, like Chuck Schumer is claiming they are?
I don't think we should have to have something like a passport required since there's a fee associated with it.
Yeah.
I do think that having a passport required, if we take away the fee of a passport, would be a good...
There's no passport required.
But it's the option that we're going towards, and it's the first option listed.
So that's an option that you could have to verify your identity when voting, but that's not the only thing. That's just one of the acceptable forms of requirement. And if it's just listed first, that doesn't mean that's what they're
But I
going
don't
for.
think that we should have anything that costs money as an option, because then that takes away people that don't have the money.
Okay. Who wouldn't have the money?
How do we want genocide? We want you guys to have babies. And if you can't have the baby, get an adoption. Somebody out there wants the baby. A family wants the baby. You don't gotta kill the baby. There's other people out there that want it. Simple shit.
For an ID.
People who are low income, that's a very straightforward issue.
Well, those same people have to have an ID to apply for government benefits.
Okay.
So how is it low-income people can have an ID to obtain benefits, government welfare, government programs and benefits, but you don't think they should have to have one to vote because it costs money?
Oh, I didn't say they shouldn't have to have one to vote.
Okay, so you do believe in voter ID?
I think that if that's the path we're going to go down, take away the fee for it.
Why?
I thought I've already answered that because I don't think there should be a tax to vote.
There is no tax to vote. You still have to drive to a voting booth and spend money on gas. Wasn't the question about? Or they have to pay for public transportation to get.
Wait, how was Republicans pushing genocide? Republicans want to keep, you know what I'm saying, men out of women's bathroom, out of sports, keep men in men's place and women in women's place. And then your party, the Democrat parties, you libtards, you want the kids to cut their parts off. You want them to be sterilized. So what you talking about? Our party's about genocide. You guys are the ones with all this bullshit ass, wicked ass, nasty ass science with these kids. It's not us pushing that. It's you guys. You guys want to have drag queen story hours in schools and libraries. If they want to have a clown show, take their ass to the circus. What type of shit is this? You keep on saying MAGA is a cult. How are we a cult? We're a cult of common sense. If you want to be that, all right, we're a cult of common sense. Believe in God. Love our country. Love each other. Love all. You know what I'm saying? You guys are weird. You guys get mad because somebody don't agree with you. You ready to kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? You turn your back on people. I lost friends and family because I'm MAGA. I'm like, damn. I bought a few stuff with Trump. All of a sudden, everybody turned their back on me. But it's cool. But you guys said we're a cult. No, you guys are cult.
To the voting polls.
Or they could walk.
They could walk. That's free. So actually, you don't have to. There is no tax.
Okay.
Was it Margaret Singer or something like that? The woman, she started Planned Parenthood, and she's part of the KKK. She's part of the KKK herself. But nobody been doing research.
Can I take my selfie with you now?
Do you know what voter ID is?
Yeah, of course I know what voter ID is.
Okay. Chuck Schumer is saying that he's not going to support it come next week when they vote on the SAVE Act, which is a national voter ID law, because it's racist. He calls it Jim Crow 2.0. We're asking students today if they agree with him or if they support voter ID. What is your opinion?
I mean, yeah, it's not necessary. Voter fraud in this country is not an issue, and it never really has been.
Okay. Well, then if we pass the law, then nothing will change, right?
It restricts probably minority rights. People don't have access to getting IDs, so that would have an effect if it did pass.
Okay. How would it affect minorities?
Oh God, I hit the talking point. How would it?
I'll repeat the question. How would it affect minorities?
I'm just gonna end the conversation here. Thank you.
How would it affect minorities?
I'm good, man.
Or maybe you won't answer because you'd have to explain how black people can't obtain an ID? You weren't about to say that, were you?
Right, they say they're a death cult. Right, these are people that put themselves in front of a moving car for somebody that killed somebody. Like, dude, you know this person, the illegal you fighting for is a pedophile, a rapist, a gang member. He done something bad, something stupid, you know what I'm saying, before he got to America. But you guys are going to fight for this person. Don't know who this person is. Like, you're going to fight, you got people here in America that's felons. Fight for them. And then you guys fight for all these felons, and he said Trump was a felon. Why you guys not fighting for Trump? He a felon. 34 times you guys said. I thought you guys love felons, so why you guys don't love Trump? You guys breaking your necks, killing yourselves with these illegals. These illegals got felonies. These illegals have broke the country, broke into the country multiple times. They came here the wrong way multiple times, doing stupid shit, and you guys fighting for them. But you guys keep calling us a cult. You guys killing yourselves, going in front of a fucking car. But somebody don't even know you, don't even care about you. But you guys keep calling us a cult. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Street interviews, simple questions. Do you have an ID? Over and over, the same people claiming voter ID is Jim Crow 2.0 are standing next to the black students who already have one in their pocket. Now, the contradiction isn't subtle, it's immediate.
Both of you guys,
black people, you know, from voting. You know, if policy is supposedly stopping us from doing that, yeah, black people already meet the requirement without issue. The problem isn't the policy. It's the story that was sold about it, right? None of these clips are complicated on their own. One person rejects basic math. Another gets angry when the math doesn't flatter the story. Someone else, you know, claims ownership over an experience they didn't live. A system quietly pays people to stay stuck. A political party relies on loyalty that doesn't require reading the actual.
I am from the Deep South. They see you as a second-class citizen. They do not see you as an equal. So how do you reconcile that as a strong, beautiful woman? You're literally giving energy to a community that does not believe you are equal. I'm recruiting people that look like you. To do what? To do what? I'm telling you. So basically,
look at this, Karen. You're oppressed. Why are you doing this with these people? They don't love you. You're oppressed. Get off the stage and come down here with me. You are a victim. Come with me. You're a victim. You see that shit? Let's continue.
You think I'm inferior? You think I'm inferior? Do you think I'm an inferior black woman who does not have a brain for herself? So you're the racist. He's allowed me to have my own opinion. You think I don't have my own opinion. So you think I'm an inferior monkey? She just exposed her own racism. He's allowed me to have my own opinion for 3 hours. You think I don't have my own opinion, and someone is basically manipulating me. So you expose your own racism. So I think you can move to the side because I don't want to speak to racists. She thinks I don't have a brain of my own, guys.
Oh my goodness, she could. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys pulling up today because these people are the problem. This young lady here, I'm from the Deep South.
Stop trying to tell people what to do.
I'm a person born and raised in the South. Born and raised in the South. Now I did move to the Mid-Atlantic and I've lived a couple of other places because you know how the military does this. But I'm back in the South. I couldn't be happier. People are extremely nice. The economy is booming. There's a lot of jobs out here. Good things are happening. Race relations, for the most part, in my opinion, seem well. I can't say that I've experienced one lick of racism since I've been back in the Deep South. I don't know what this lady's talking about.
Don't know.
But they're projecting. Because it's people like this. They're the real racists. They're the real bigots out here. Because she got up there and said, basically, you don't have the ability to think for yourself. So let me tell you, you shouldn't think the way that you think. You shouldn't believe the way that you believe. And Lord knows you shouldn't speak the way that you speak. Because, hey, other people will hear you. And maybe they'll start to get some ideas. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel.
All right, so these Democrats were shocked when they found out that it was actually the Democrat Party that didn't want blacks to vote.
Do you know what Juneteenth is?
It was the day that we actually celebrated getting freedom for African Americans.
A president sent the army in to enforce the 13th Amendment to make sure that all, like you said, people know that they are free, but they had to send the army to make sure that they know what's going on into Texas. What was the president's name and what political party was he part of?
I'm going to say Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. And was he Republican, Democrat?
I feel feel like he was Democrat, but I want to say maybe he was Republican. No, I'm going to go with Democrat.
The historic 13th Amendment was passed in Congress, and then it was vetoed by a certain president. Do you know what was the president's name and what party he was affiliated with?
Republican.
A year after Juneteenth, Congress decided to pass the very first Civil Rights Act. It allowed, first of all, it gave full citizenship and rights to freed slaves. What party completely voted against it? Not a single person voted for it.
Yeah, the black liberal men are too soft. They want to show their ass with their pants sagging. They want to wear a dress and high heels now in churches and in public. It's insane. Insane. Any man should be doing that. Get off the heels, get off the dress, put your pants up, and put a belt on. Put a belt on.
Which party were they affiliated with? Republican, Democrat, other? Anybody know?
I want to say Republican.
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican president, so he's the one that sent the army because Southern Democrats in Texas.
Yeah, it's sad when it comes to the black women raising their men. Their boys become men. Because what happens is some of these boys become like their mom and get all emotional and become feminine, or they go all the way becoming gay. You know what I'm saying? The father has to be there, needs to be in their life. You know what I'm saying? Period. Because these guys they go out and get crazy. And dressing weird, and talking weird, and doing dumb shit. And the mom, she's not telling him, hey, straighten up, you a boy. She's going to embrace him being whatever he wants to be. It's less headache for her. As long as he ain't going to jail, go ahead and be what you want to be. And that's sad. Nobody's there to tell the young boy, hey, you a boy. They just, okay, all right, be what you want to be. That's fucked up.
Wanted to continue to have slavery. So Abraham Lincoln said, no, we have a federal law now. We're going to enforce that. His vice president that stepped in and vetoed the Civil Rights Act was a Democrat. His name was Andrew Jackson. Yeah. And here's the main thing. When they allowed black people to finally run for office a year after Juneteenth, the first 20 people who were black people to be members of Congress were all Republican members. The Democrats refused to allow black people to vote and to be obviously candidates for office.
So you can watch that clip right there and really see these minds being blown. And when you finally just realize the facts behind all of the propaganda and all of the stuff, you realize how much of true American history is just being hidden from people. God knows they're not teaching it in the schools. They'd rather teach BLM and 500 genders and, I don't know, have drag queens like, teach kids shapes or something like that. They're certainly not being taught history. And then you understand why they don't want to teach this history, because Democrats want to run the propaganda that Republicans are racist when in fact they're the ones with the history of racism.
Right, not just that, you know what I'm saying? It's indigenous people. We are the indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? America was conquered. All types of directions. The whole world was conquered at some point. If I keep on saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm Indian, I'm Cherokee. That's good. You know, there's other Native Americans out here, other indigenous people out here besides all that Cherokee shit. I get it. But people get so stuck on this popularity thing. And then they come to find out some of these Indian pictures or Native American pictures they got, it's not all the real pictures. It's like they kept all the dark-skinned Native Americans and the indigenous Americans, all the dark ones, they ripped them out, or they ain't had no pictures of them. Everybody was just all light-skinned. Everybody was just light all on the pictures we see now today. And that's bullshit. At some point, yeah, they was doing history bogus on both sides. A lot of people history got messed up. The Sphinx nose got blown off. All type of shit. Let's gotta, you know what I'm saying, stay prayed up and do our research.
It's a fact. Hey, Democrats, they are the party of slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, you name it. Pregnancy terminations, you name it. Every wicked and evil thing that's going on. And now you fast forward to 2026, they're the party of socialism. They're the party that wants to usher in communism in the United States of America. You can't make this make sense, man. You just can't. And for the life of me, I need people to take the time to do their own due diligence, their own research. Get off the Democratic plantation. Stop voting blue no matter who. I'm not saying vote Republican just to do it. I'm saying do the research on the candidates and make a decision accordingly.
Look, you're not going to change my mind. People who like socialism or people who have no drive and will to become successful on their own. It's a position that they'll never reach, and they don't want you to reach it neither. Like when they see a rich and successful person, they don't get motivated. It triggers them into a state of unfairness. I mean, whatever bullshit reason they give you, it's just bullshit. They're just losers, and they want you to lose too.
Question. So if socialism works, give me an example of it succeeding. Show me. Just show me an example of a nation that has adapted this system and show me its longevity and show me how it's worked. Because all of the democratic socialists that are coming out of nowhere saying that this is the way, cite your sources. You're playing with people's lives. So cite your sources. If this is such a great system, show me where it has succeeded long term. I'm waiting for all the ones, all of the very prideful New Yorkers that voted for Mamdani and all the others coming behind you, the people of Colorado that just voted in another one. Show me. State your case.
They can't. But as the brother mentioned, they are a bunch of losers. These are people that belief system is antithetical to the word of God. The word says a man that doesn't work doesn't deserve to eat. These are people that want you to work your tail off and then give them and feed their families, keep a roof over their head. And the thing is that these quote unquote democratic socialists, but let's move the democratic side of things. Let's just call them what they are. They are socialists. They are communists. These people are fundamentally against the country, and they want to change the country. Instead of leaving and going to a place where they could do that, they want to come here and destroy what we have here. This is the last bastion of hope. This is it right here. We got to do everything that we can to protect it.
Hey, we got on rolling show. We got to vote, man, because if we don't vote, they're going to have us speaking God.
Well, on that particular point, you talk about the loss of health care. We begin to break down losses in so many areas. And also, of course, we look at what's happening with black farmers. Look at what's happening in education, how they're removing the civil rights oversight from the Department of Education, going to other areas. And so what we are seeing is just completely mayhem coming from this administration. And they are attacking anything. They're looking at grants. They're looking at even corporations that fund black initiatives. They're targeting those things as well. And so we are seeing Black America impacted, loss of jobs.
Hey, Mark, Berlin, East-West Berlin, was that in Germany? Was that communist? Didn't work out too well. They knocked down the wall. Everybody ran.
Nonprofits are being impacted. Black contracts in the federal government are down as well. This is an all-out assault on black folks.
Yes, it is. We have lost so many jobs. Trump used to talk about how good he had been to black folks in terms of job creation. It was lies then, but now we're losing jobs under Trump. Instead of him creating jobs or his administration creating jobs, they're losing jobs, and black folks are disproportionately losing those jobs. And you've got the correct, it's a GOP war on black America. And if we don't stand up and fight back, we're going to be back in the cotton fields. And when I talk about fighting back, I'm not talking about taking up arms. I'm talking about taking it to the streets in protest, and also by exercising our precious right to vote. We're going to have to get out in November and vote.
What, vote for socialism? Vote for communism? That's what they're pushing. That's what they're pushing.
Oh, like John Lewis said, like our lives depend on it, because our lives do depend on it this time.
There you go again. They got cotton pickers, Hank. No one picks cotton anymore. One cotton picker can do the labor of 100 pickers. Even if black people didn't vote Democrat and they needed somebody to pick cotton, they wouldn't use people to do it. They just get cotton pickers to do it. Dumbass, God, you people are stupid.
Yeah, they're beyond stupid. But that's what they do. They fearmonger. Oh, they're going to put you back in chains. They're going to put you back on that cotton field. They're going to do this and the third. Really?
And it don't even happen.
That's how they get you to vote for your own demise. And those are dog whistles for older folks. Not all, but some.
Right. What was that bullshit, Project 2025? That bullshit? Right. I'm supposed to be in chains right now. I mean, my wife supposed to be locked up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, damn it. We still free. And Trump's still our president. Ain't that something?
That when they hear this, those are dog whistles to stay your behind right on this plantation and keep.
Creek Beaters, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Creek Beaters. Appreciate that, man. Name is Deontay. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
Supporting us. Keep voting blue no matter who. I know we ain't gonna do anything for you. I know, we haven't done anything. Your communities are in shambles. Your families are in shambles. We know that you're terminating pregnancies. You're losing voter power in the country. Not because of the gerrymandering or the redistricting, but because you're losing population. I know, but just put us in office so that we can continue to pillage the nation.
Thank you for the
while offering you very little.
Thank you.
The Democrats are in trouble, man, because that rhetoric isn't working anymore. It's not working anymore. It's not enough to say, oh, black folks, if you don't support us, man, they're going to put you back in chains and put you back out on that cotton field. You going back to slavery when they are the party of slavery, I might add. That's what they do. It's fear. All they can do is fearmonger. You notice they never talk about the policies. You notice they never talk about what their plan is. Wonder why.
But the other reporting that we got this weekend was that the DNC is struggling. They are millions of dollars in debt. They are they're so short on cash that they've asked their vendors not to bother to send bills until after the midterm elections. They have put a loan out on their headquarters to try to fund last year's off-year elections, not to mention any spending that they need to do this year. So they're not exactly in a strong position to lead the party in this moment.
Yeah, that's very fair. And I think that's maybe why they're so reluctant to disavow some of these really extreme radical policies, like getting rid of prisons and opening the borders. So Zoran Mamdani, who you want to be part of this Democratic Party, who Chuck Schumer, Barack Obama, everyone has seemed to embrace, he watched the World Cup at Rikers. He wants to get rid of prisons. He wants to abolish private property. This is literally the most radical. He wants government-run groceries. You just lied. I did not lie. Can I speak for you? I'm not here to answer to you. Okay, can I?
Martin, where do you live at, man? Because what you saying makes no sense at all. Capitalism is not just for the rich. What are you talking about? Wow, where you live at?
Can I speak for 2 seconds?
When did he ever say he wanted to?
There is a lady from the DSA who, on national TV, they ran down and asked her, do you plan to do this? And she said yes to everything. Everything.
Right.
Part of his platform.
When did
That's literally part of his platform.
When you see CNN start to report the truth, then that's how you really know that the Democrats are in trouble. Then they can no longer hide it. You see, the Democrats are very good at using the media and all their other sources to impart the truth to hide it. As we get to midterms, the Democrats have no money. How did they get to this point, and how come they didn't mention this earlier? It didn't just happen overnight. That means Doge did their job. That means when we were calling out the fraud, they lost their money. But also notice the weakness and the weak-mindedness of the Democrats. That black dude gets up there and he starts attacking that woman because he's fragile, because he's weak, because he's defensive, because he knows that the truth is being told about the Democrat Party. The DNC is broke. They're going to be struggling these midterms. MAGA is about to have a great few months of we told you so, we told you so, we told you so.
Yeah, shout out to this brother. He's absolutely right. And I'm glad to see it, man. They spent $1 billion on a lady that couldn't put together a coherent sentence without chuckling and laughing at nothing. Their policies are terrible, but at the flip side of that, they won't actually tell you, or they won't tell the people their policies. You actually have to go dig around.
Damn socialism.
And in the DSA, they're emboldened because they know as well that the Democratic Party is on the ropes. So now the reality of it is that it's those of us on this side of things, the conservatives, versus the Communist Party.
I'm proud to announce a collection of essential staples that will be predictably 30% cheaper at all 5 of our city-run grocery stores. This core set of goods will include all fresh produce, meat, and seafood, along with 20 other essential items like cheese, milk, and bread. Here's how it will work. Once a month, our 5 city-run grocery stores will set prices for this core set of goods at 30% below typical retail prices. No exceptions, no gimmicks. The savings will last for the entire month. That means no weekly fluctuations nor sticker shock at the checkout line. Not for our seniors living on fixed incomes, nor for the parents who rely on a regular supply of apple slices to keep toddler tantrums at bay.
Some guy, not some man. What's wrong with dude?
Can we all see this incredible example of produce in my hand? Now you will see these plantains here. So for anyone wondering how much these beautiful plantains might cost, you can use this QR code or head to grocery.
Plantains. Call fucking banana.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani pushing forward with his plan for municipal-owned grocery stores. The mayor promising the shops will offer deep discounts on fresh fruits and vegetables, along with other staples like milk and meat. But there are still concerns about the millions he'll spend on this program and if it could hurt a handful of bodegas in the area, particularly those in the outer boroughs. Now let's bring in political reporter Henry Rossoff for more on this story. Affordability, Henry, we know everyone is talking about, but surviving in this economy is another concern.
Yeah, I mean, and this was the campaign promise from Mayor Zohran Mamdani that a lot of people were skeptical of and were wondering if he could pull it off and if it made sense. Well, today we got a lot more details about him pushing forward with this, including which foods would be discounted at the 5 grocery stores, 1 in each borough across the city. But don't misunderstand, this plan continues to face a lot of criticism.
For anyone wondering how much these beautiful plantains might cost, you can use this QR code.
With some showmanship, Mayor Zohran Mamdani announced that fresh produce and other important staples at his government-supported grocery stores would be 30% off the market price, recalibrated monthly.
No exceptions, no gimmicks. The savings will last for the entire month.
The first of the stores is expected to open next year, with the city within the last few days officially beginning the bidding process for grocery store operators to get involved. New York City is promising to help by building out each location, along with helping with branding and marketing, and it will cover all rent and property taxes. In return, those running grocery stores will be required to provide the discount food, along with high-paying jobs that include full benefits for workers. I asked why not use all that money and effort to just support established food programs in the city.
We see in this city an opportunity to take an all-of-the-above approach. We are going to continue to work with incredible partners like the ones that we're here with today, as well as ensure that food pantries across the 5 boroughs can flourish.
But even at the mayor's announcement in East New York, members of the local community board were skeptical this will make a difference.
This is it's a drop in the bucket to what it is that we need. There's problems that are not being addressed. Housing, like he's mentioned, education.
And there remains concern that mom and pop bodegas will not be able to compete with these stores. The city is attempting to offset some of that by not allowing government-run grocers to sell hot food, alcohol, and cigarettes, where smaller corner stores make most of their money.
Places like this are the lifeblood of our community, and at the end of the day, if we don't keep them open, we're giving into the source of capitalism that's destroying our community as a whole.
Locations both in Manhattan and Brooklyn.
What we need to do is, when it comes to every president, Trump, everybody, stop sending fucking money overseas. Slow that shit down on funding these motherfucking people. And also, keep the fucking borders closed. You know what I'm saying? And these people, they let 20 million people come in here. Obama got 3 million up out of here. Biden let them all come in here, and Trump getting them out of here. If we had less immigrants coming in here, we had to worry about all these damn taxes and shit going up. You got people coming in here that's not working, that's not vetting, and they just here. Waste of space. You know what I'm saying? And I know this. They are a waste of space. That's why our shit is fucking high. We got too many fucking people here in this country. And they're not fucking working. That's the problem. Keep the borders closed. Take care of home first. Then let start people come in. Stop sending motherfucking money overseas. Keep the borders closed. And the ones that's here, get their ass up out of here. Have their ass come here the right way. That's how this shit go down. There's too many fucking people here.
And, in the Bronx have been selected. They're still working on the city that is selecting locations for Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. No, you've covered this, Jay. You were over when they announced the Manhattan location.
Absolutely. How real are the concerns among these mom and pop bodega owners?
They're very real. I mean, I spoke with the bodega owner for the shop. We just interviewed that customer outside you saw at the end of the story there. And he spoke with me off camera, and he said, listen, them leaving hot food.
How y'all worry about Trump and all this other bullshit in Minnesota? 19 or more $1 billion got, you know what I'm saying, sent out to Dubai and other places. That money ain't staying in Minnesota. That money got sent out overseas, like 3 other places overseas. No outrage for that. That's a lot of money. Minnesota, California, who else? New York. All that money, man. When Somalians did. Amazing. No outrage. Y'all cool with that. Y'all cool with fraud. All that money. Y'all cool with Ian Omar. Y'all cool with her. All that money being lost. How in the hell they get all that money for these kids? What's that, for Feed the Children, whatever that shit called? And all them kids, all 80,000 of them on welfare. So they need no motherfucking COVID money. They already got money already. They getting free money since they got here. And they got more money when the COVID shit hit. And all of a sudden, what happened to the money? I don't know. That's bogus as hell.
Alcohol, cigarettes, lotto alone is important. Those are good margins for us.
Not nothing.
But devils are in the details here. If they drop this in between 3 popular bodegas, it's gonna be a hit no matter how you slice it. So if they put them truly far away, I think some of these owners are like, that's okay. But where are these locations? That's why these 3 missing locations. That's important information.
Mom Donnie is the mini Ayatollah. Watch this.
We are going to freeze the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants and use every resource at our disposal to build housing for everyone who needs it.
دلخوش نباشید که مسکن فقط میسازیم. آب و برق را مجانی میکنیم برای طبقه مجتمع.
This is crazy. Again, y'all, I know I got a Trump hat on, but we talking about Mondani and socialism and all this bullshit. Y'all talking about some fucking Trump and $2 billion and all that shit. Who gives a fuck? We talking about motherfucking socialism and capitalism, how that shit doesn't work here in America. We need to get rid of this shit. America is 250 years for a reason. And you guys want some motherfucking Trump bullshit. We cannot have Mondani and his cronies getting out and getting in office. They do not love America. Mondani was born in Uganda. This dude's not a fucking American. This man just got here. He want to fucking fuck the Constitution up. Him and his cronies. These people do not love America. Why are they in office? Because they talk good, and that's the problem. And goofies go with it. Oh, he talks good. He looks good. Let's go ahead and put him in office. That shit stupid as hell. These people do not like America. If you don't like America, get the fuck up out of here then. The Constitution is good. They talking about get rid of the Constitution, get rid of the cops, get rid of ICE. It's like, damn, you just want lawlessness. If that's the case, go back to the third world with that bullshit. Don't bring that shit over here. What Melania got to do with this? We talking about motherfucking Mondani, goofy ass. And she's been here longer than Mondani. So what you talking about? Why you got Melania in this?
We are going to eliminate the fare on every single bus line.
اتوبوس را مجانی میکنیم برای طبقه مجتمع.
Make our city one where every person who calls it home can live a dignified life.
شما را به مقام انسانیت میرسانیم.
All right, so Zoran Mondani is basically saying the same lines as this guy did. And what was the result? What were some of the horrible things that this guy did when he was in power? He ordered the 1988 mass execution of political prisoners. They executed thousands of political prisoners who refused to denounce their beliefs. They were hanged in groups, directed large-scale executions of political opponents after the...
You know, hey, chat, what's wrong with these people in the chat? These liberals and libtards and Karens and Darrens. I'm talking about Mondani goofy ass. You talking about some Trump. Why? We talking about Mondani. And communism is not good. Socialism is not good. Who said they come on Fox News? I ain't even played Fox News yet.
1979 revolution. Reports document torture, sexual violence, and killings. He also issued this in 1989, which ordered Muslims worldwide to kill the author of the Satanic Verses because he said it was blasphemy. Of course, they persecuted all other religious minorities, so this is going to be us in America. And then we have the Sharia law stuff with severe punishments for dissent, women, and moral crimes.
There hasn't been a place where this has worked successfully. Right now in the country, and I had to look it up real quick, there is one government ran grocery store that's been around. It's been around since 2013. It's still operating. It's out in Kansas. It is ran by the city government, but if you know anything about St. Paul, Kansas, it's a small town. That is what they consider as the strongest success. Other than that, there are 5 others that have been unsuccessful. The Erie Market out in Kansas City, the Baldwin Market out in Baldwin, Florida, the Sunfresh out in Kansas City, the Katy Market out in Kansas City, in Kansas, and the Azalea Fresh Market out in Atlanta.
If you haven't already, subscribe. 2,264 subscribers. Thank you, guys. 12 people in the chat. Let's get it. Let's grow to 2,500.
It opened in 2025. It's still going, but it's not going that well right now. The other 4 that I mentioned, they've pretty much closed. With one of them, the city spent $29 million on, and it's still closed. It doesn't work. And in a place like New York City, which is supposed to be the capitalist bastion of America, to have something like this open up, and they think that this is going to work. Unfortunately, you got a lot of young people out there.
Dude, the 34 felonies are misdemeanors that even the bank said Trump was cool with. Did you know that? The banks are cool with Trump. Alvin Bragg made it to be a felony just to stop Trump from becoming president. You know it was all bullshit, rigged. You can see the shit. It's all bullshit.
Who think that this is going to work, that they think that this is a good thing, and they think that liberalism is good. You see the examples, not just here in our country, but all around the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You see the examples of it.
You know what I'm saying? The left keeps saying the same shit. He's a felon. He's a felon. Okay, once again, you guys out here fighting ICE agents for felons from other countries. Y'all fighting for them. Y'all love them. Y'all fighting for them. Trump a felon, so y'all ain't fighting for Trump. I thought y'all guys love felons. I don't get it. 6'7". What's going on?
Actually work.
And the thing about it is Trump was a Democrat himself. He was best friends with Democrats. Best friends with Democrats. So the man said he's a Republican. He's a racist. Like, wow. I can relate to that, Trump. So when I said I'm a MAGA, I'm voting red. Oh, you stupid. You a racist. You Uncle Tom. You a bootlicker. Okay. Wow. I thought you were my best friend, my homie. Wow. Lost friends and family because of it. And then they go to show you, know what I'm saying? I'm doing something right. Because we still should be cool with each other to agree or disagree. We still should be cool. I remember, you know what I'm saying? We play basketball against a rival team. We'll play ball at our best. We'll win or lose. At the end, we'll still shake each other's hand. You know what I'm saying? We still be cool with each other. Now everybody get mad and want to kill each other on the left side. What's the problem? You guys want to kill anybody that disagree with you. And then when somebody do get killed, you celebrate it. You guys go all the way out and get a Halloween costume made to go make fun of the person that you guys don't like. Insane. You guys go all the way out to make an AI picture peeing on somebody's grave, or actually do go pee on somebody's grave, and then make a rap song about it, and it gets glorified. You guys are crazy. And then the person that peed on somebody's grave, you glorify it, he gets shot up. All of a sudden now he gets praised. Like, wait a minute. This dude was bogus as hell. He peed on somebody's grave. He shouldn't have done that. Very disrespectful. But now you got t-shirts and balloons up here going on. These people are criminals. They are murderers. They're celebrated. They crying. This dude just shot up like 20 people. Why is you crying? This dude is a criminal. This dude been in jail 7 times, 18 times. Why are you crying for this dude? Insane.
How much money do y'all think they're going to spend? I think they're already over budget on one store, and he's talking about opening up 4 others. Sheesh, the 30% savings, but what is it going to cost the city to do this when it's all said and done?
First of all, welcome to what communism looks like in real time. So let's go. The first job of the communist is always price setting, always to set the price. Why? Because setting the price does what you need it to do. And what you need it to do is never what you think. Mandami has come out and said that these grocery stores, I believe it's going to be one in each of the boroughs, is supposed to be able to provide a low-cost option for people in underserved communities. That is not what these stores are designed to do. They already know the stores will fail. They already know this because he's offering.
And then Democrat Party, we already know, you guys, they don't know what a fucking woman is. I don't trust nobody that know what a woman is. Like, dude, you came out your mama. Your mom pushed you out. That's what a woman is, your mama, your auntie, your grandma. I don't trust these people. Period. And they call them, they. You are one person. How you them, they, and all these crazy ass names and shit. I'm binary. What the fuck is that? When I see a human, man or a woman, a boy or a girl. What the fuck is a binary and pronouns? That shit's stupid. But you guys fight for this shit. Y'all vote for this shit. Dumbass Democrats. And then y'all get mad when we call Michelle Big Mike. I thought you guys like trans women. If Big Mike Michelle's a trans woman, okay, we call her what she might be, what she is. And if it's the case, we're making fun of it. So what? Obama is fascinated with gay professors. He said it himself. He liked gay professors. That's not cool. I want none of my kids talk to nobody on some crazy shit like that. That's sick. If he want to talk to somebody about his feelings, he got his mama, his auntie, his grandma, somebody feminine on his mama and auntie cousin side. And then talk to somebody that's some gay dude or gay professor about feelings. The fuck out of here. That shit crazy.
A 30% discount for an entire month. He's not going to be able to do that for any length of time because the growers can't afford to give him the product at 30% less. So, okay, maybe then he'll subsidize the grower and say, hey, we need this product. We'll subsidize you at full price. And then we, the city, will take the 30% hit to give it to the customer. There's only going to be so long you can do that you can lose 30% each month in 5 stories across the city. How long will you be able to do that? It's not, they already know this is going to fail. This is not designed to provide food to disadvantaged people at low cost. What this is designed to do is to run.
Hey, Martin, you the idiot. She did hit the officer with the car. The officer told her dumb ass to get out the car. Did you see the video? She was out there with the fucking whistle. Her and her partner, who the fuck, how you want to call the shit, for 3 fucking minutes. Somebody in their house on the 2nd floor filming her stupid ass for 3 minutes, honking on horn and blocking traffic, you know what I'm saying, and yelling and shit. So after the 3-minute mark, the officer walked to the driver's door and told her, hey, get out the car. She drives off. He already gave her a command. She's breaking the law anyway because she's obstructing traffic for 3 fucking minutes. And he told her to get out the car. She drives off. And she hits the officer. So yeah, she deserved to get shot. She woke up to do something stupid. Drop her son off and go agitate the fucking ICE agents. That's not your fucking job. Your job is not to agitate. Your job is to go ahead. You're going to say, yeah, you have the right to free speech, but guess what? It has consequences too behind it. Alex Pretty, his dumb ass, he get there kicking, you know what I'm saying, police officer vehicles and shit and kick the lights off. And both times he brought a gun with him to the fucking protest. You're not a security officer. Why you got a gun on you? If you're going to protest. If you're going to do it peacefully. But don't do it to the point where you aggravated, now all of a sudden, now you get roughed up, your gun exposed, now you're dumb ass up out of here. That's his fucking fault. Make accountability great again. More people died under Obama when it came to these ICE raids. But you guys don't do no research on that. It's just Google. Obama and Trump ICE raids comparison. It's more people that died under Obama. Deported more under Obama and died more under Obama. So stop calling MAGA stupid, man. You guys don't do no research. Should have kept their ass at home. If you're gonna do it the right way. They'll still be here. And then back to Renee, her girlfriend, whatever we call her partner, told her, baby drive. No, don't drive. Handle the consequences. You blocking traffic. The ICE agents got to move. And you blocking they drive. So go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and talk to the ICE agent, get your ID, get your driver license, go ahead. You wasting their time. Don't try to drive off now. You there for 3 fucking minutes. Renee Good there for 3 fucking minutes. Soon the officer told her to go ahead and get out the car. Now she want to drive off. And doing so, she hit our agent. Do your research, man. Watch the video. It's multiple angles to that shit. She hit the officer. That's her fucking fault. And his. Stop being
those private bodegas out of the market. That's the whole purpose, is to get rid of the private property. The whole point is to get rid of them. They only need the store to be around long enough for those businesses to close. And once they're gone, once those businesses are gone, they'll tell you, we couldn't do it. We ran out of money, just like they did everywhere else that they have done these grocery stores, just like they did with Affordable Care Act, just like they do when they do government-sponsored housing. It is never, ever, allegedly, we commandeered, as a federal government, commandeered 1/6 of the whole private economy in taking over healthcare. And what did we do? We ran healthcare businesses out of the market, consolidated behind the few, and drove the price up. That is the only purpose of doing this. It is to get rid of the many grocery options you currently have. And as soon as they do that, this store will fail. New York bodegas are the home and the pride of the chopped cheese. New Yorkers, you're about to lose the chopped cheese sandwich. If y'all don't get on top of this thing, you better save the chopped cheese, because these grocery stores are going to get rid of your ability to go get a $5 chopped cheese sandwich in the back of these bodegas. That is the point and the intent. You, honey, these are wolves, and I don't even know if they're in sheep's clothing. I don't know what they're wearing nowadays. But you have to understand, when they are proposing these subsidized options, the subsidy is never, ever for the people. It is always to penalize the private property and the profit in the private market.
I don't think people understand what they mean by when they say subsidize. You know, that means that you're paying for it. The taxpayers, you're going to pay for it. They try to make it seem like, oh, the government to pay for it. No. You're going to pay for it, because they're about to raise the taxes. They've already raised the taxes. And once all the millionaires and the billionaires, they're already dipped out. The millionaires are rolling out. And now they're going to pass that on to the middle class. And before you know it, it's just going to be a failed city full of people that have no money.
They don't understand what socialism really is. They keep sticking that democratic socialism in front of that word, and democratic and socialism do not go together. But, you know, they They keep telling them that it does, so they believe it. But Mondami is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He is the left's version of Donald Trump. Okay, you knew what Donald Trump was going to do. You knew what Mondami was going to do.
All right, so I did my research about Trump and Obama. So once again, I was right. During Trump's first term, compared to Obama's 2 terms, Obama had 67 and Trump had a little bit less than that. But since Trump's second term, it went a little bit higher than that because the motherfucking social media got these motherfucking people out here agitated doing stupid shit. Yep.
He said it, and these people voted for it. Now, Wise, you asked, young people want free stuff. Yeah, because they don't want to pay for it, right? Most.
And then they did ride-alongs with once again, when it came to Obama and Obama deporting 3 million people, it was nice, it was sweet. The media did ride-alongs with the ICE agents. The ICE agents and the media was best friends. They was cool with each other. They was not out here blowing whistles and protesting. Now Trump is in office, it's all chaos. Tom Homan is the same guy that Obama had. I'm pretty sure Tom Homan doing the same tactics that he did with Obama that he's doing with Trump, if not even better. But since the media keep pushing the shit out, these people out here ready to go protest with their fucking frog suits on. Ready to go out there, cause chaos. You know they getting paid.
Young people don't want to really pay for anything. However, they're not realizing what they're getting themselves into because most have never had the adversity that their grandparents and so have had. So when they think of it, it's this manufactured, you're in fascism, you're in this, you're in that. It's all manufactured, the racism, all of that, okay? The people who claim to be the people getting the racism are actually putting it on. So at the end of the day, all of this is manufactured, but it's ushering in things like socialism and beyond. So for New York to be the hub of socialism is crazy because it's the hub of capitalism. Yes. And it's wild. Mondami is actually showing what you can do with liberals because to have New York, the height of the stock market, all of these big properties, these buildings, these national parks, all of these things that New York is, he's absolutely taking it away one by one. So it goes to show what liberalism actually does to a nation and to one of the most thriving cities. And when you look at it now, they're going to go for the property, but all of the property. Doesn't matter if it's stores, doesn't matter if it's homes, doesn't matter, whatever it is. He's literally accelerating you will own nothing and like it. He's doing what the liberals said they were going to do, but he's doing it at a faster pace. He's doing it at record speed, and they're not realizing it. Right now, they're frogs sitting in a pot. They don't realize that they're absolutely on a collision course. And when they finally do wake up and realize it, they'll already be too knee deep in. They'll have absolutely nothing. You can't do anything really in New York right now. When it comes down to it, these bodegas, I lived in New York for 4 years. These bodegas really do hold up the community. They give people jobs. They give people food at, lower. Some places that don't have stores near them, the bodegas right there. Right. So you would have food deserts without them. They're cornerstones of these communities. And so when I look at it, I'm just saying New York is about to be literally little Cuba, and they're about to figure out exactly what it means to be government ran. You want the government to be in your business, they're going to be in it, and you're going to pay the price for it. It'll look like worse than Cuba.
Yeah, the red state's the best, man, especially when it came to COVID. Me and my wife was going to different restaurants. When it came to red states, I was so happy that we didn't have to wear any fucking mask. I'm like, this shit stupid. You can put a mask on, you gotta eat. put the mask back on. And then you drink, put the mask back. I'm like, that shit stupid as hell. I'm like, I ain't finna go out, man. I ain't finna go to somebody's restaurant, spend my money. You know what I'm saying? I gotta put a fucking mask on. So we went to Indiana and other parts of Illinois that was conservative. I'm like, okay, cool, because we had to wear no mask. But Chicago, you had to wear a mask. You couldn't throw a barbecue. If you threw a barbecue, you get in trouble. You couldn't go to the beach. I'm like, damn. Like, you can't go outside. You had to stay in the house. You had to hug your grandma through a plastic shield. Drive-by graduations. Shit stupid as hell. That's why these kids fucking retarded when it comes to these teen takeovers. They can't fucking read. I had these kids trying to learn on a tablet or a computer or a laptop. If they can't read, how they gonna read the stuff on a laptop? They need somebody to help them with the word. Because the parents ain't gonna help them. The parents getting high. The parents drinking and smoking. They kicking it, especially in the summertime.
Look like Venezuela, where you're standing in line every week for bread, where you're standing in line every week for plantains, where you're standing in line, and when you get up there, there's nothing left because we're out. They can't afford it. Nobody's paying the taxes. And now you got to eat out of garbage. They don't realize that this can happen here because they keep putting, well, it's democratic socialism, it's different. They'll realize it once they have it.
Well, here's my problem, and I think that it's good that you show this, and I'm glad that some people seem to be aware of what's going on, but most still aren't aware of it. They still hear that word free and they go crazy. They are going to run all of the people, the family businesses, the bodegas out of business. They're going to take over their buildings, they're going to have the complete control over all the supplies, and they're not going to care about the poor people. And the poor people who voted them in office are going to want to blame somebody else instead of themselves for voting them in office. So here's the bottom line. You had a chance to vote for, to prepare someone who was worthy of your vote, and you chose.
Yeah, I was head of security in Austin High School in Chicago, in the west side of Chicago, for 5 years. And I seen them, the kids, graduate for no reason. They graduated because they had perfect attendance. These kids cannot read at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was there for 5 years. These kids just graduated because they had perfect attendance, or they were just there. These kids cannot read or write. They can't even damn near even talk, have a good conversation with anybody. They just graduating them to keep the numbers up, keep the money coming in. The teaching union bogus in Chicago, man. Very bogus. That's why I'm glad I stepped down, because COVID really changed everything for me. I was getting money during COVID, but after all that bullshit, I stepped down and switched careers because I was like, nah, you're not finna try to send me off. I'm not gonna keep on taking these damn temperature checks in my forehead and constantly asking these questionnaires. Did I go out of town? And if I did, how many days was I gone? And how many people I've been around? I'm like, what type of shit is this? Y'all my goddamn business. No, fuck this. Fuck this. So yeah, I quit and went back to cutting hair as a barber.
To vote for a socialist communist, a Muslim, and you're going to get just what you deserve. I don't know how our conservative Republicans are going to regain power, or if they're going to regain power. I'm not even hearing what they're doing to counter this mess. But I do know one thing. They need to get the message out about what's happening, how it's happening. They need to show the strategic plan of these lies and these deceivers and what's going to happen to the people, and hopefully get the people to move before it's too late. Because if something's not done right away, you better not wait until those grocery stores get built. And you better not wait until they take over everything, because then it's going to be too late. The time is now to get rid of Mamdani and all those who think like him. You can't wait until later. You got to do this now.
Well, Minister Denzel, I understand your sentiment, but
So by me being head of security back to being at Austin High School, you know what I'm saying, I got to keep on telling teachers and principals and kids, put your mask up, put your mask up. Like, really? The mask ain't doing anything. If you can smell food, somebody fart, anything through that mask, okay, well, COVID can go through this shit. I'm looking like this shit's a waste of time. I don't give a fuck how strong the mask supposed to be. N95 or whatever that bullshit is. You still can smell. Still bullshit. Then you had people wearing these face masks, the plastic face shield. I'm like, you motherfuckers look retarded. I mean, these people was dedicated. I'm like, I ain't walk around with this bullshit, man. If you want to wear the mask, you can wear the plastic face shield. You fucking retarded. Yeah, liberals like being. That's the problem. Democrats, they like what they call it, cosplaying. They like doing shit. They think, yeah, the Democrats, they love Halloween. Democrats like Halloween all year round. They some fucking freaks. They some weirdos, man. They don't want to grow up. They stuck. They like to be told what to do. They don't want to think for themselves. They like to be told what to do.
I think the conservatives and the Republicans have said, you know what? Y'all want it? Y'all got it. And they're leaving them to their own devices. And you're seeing the companies move to the states that actually have sane policies and sane politicians. And amongst the voter bloc of, at least some sane folks that won't allow this type of stuff to go on. You're seeing the companies vote with their feet. They're voting with their dollars as well. They're getting out of there and they're moving to places that's more friendly to them. We're almost headed back to where we were.
And then the Democrat Party so stupid. You got Jay-Z, Beyonce, all these fucking celebrities, Hollywood, telling you vote Democrat, but they all fucking rich. The Democrat is for the poor people. And you think Jay-Z and them voted for Kamala and them? You know they didn't. They voted, you know what I'm saying, Republican, but they ain't gonna tell you that shit. They gonna send your ass off. I like how like Jordan and other players and other celebrities back then, you didn't know who they voted for. You kind of had an idea who they voted for, but you didn't know. Now it's like, I don't care what John Lego Lozambo got to say. Like, dude, you in Hollywood. Just be an actor. Do that. You get paid to lie anyway. So I don't trust you guys. Make a good movie. Write a good script. Be a good director. But trying to be an activist and trying to tell us how to vote, and you a multi-millionaire, and you don't live in the hood, and you never worked in a real job at all, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, Michael Jordan conservative. We know that. It's obvious. You know what I'm saying? He said it too. He said, hey, Republicans buy my shoes too, so I'm going to tell them not to buy my shoes or discriminate against somebody. Shit, they spending that money. Hey, let's do it. Let's get it. That's the problem. I'm trying to tell people how to spend their money. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to spend money how I want to spend it. Like I'm going to wear a MAGA hat. I'm going to wear a MAGA hat anywhere I want to wear it. Inside the house, outside the house, wherever. Especially when I live in America. Why not wear this shit? Y'all wearing motherfucking frog suits. The fuck? And that shit's sick as hell.
A little over 100 years ago.
Yep.
Where, you had, certain states, which back in the day it was the North, and the North was the states that didn't have slavery and they didn't have all these things. And the South was considered the poorer side of things. Now you see people online complaining. Most of these people that complain about their paychecks, complain about the money not going that far, those people live in these quote unquote liberal strongholds. And they're frustrated with the policies. They're frustrated because they're like, hey, we voted for this, but this isn't panning out the way they told us it would.
Of course not.
And we're starting to see a real separation in our country. You're seeing it. And that's why you have places like Florida booming, Georgia booming, Tennessee booming, Texas booming, Arkansas booming. There is a direct correlation to these people. They all have conservative values. And they're all about low taxes. They're about stopping crime. They're not about allowing the criminals to just run amok. And when you have governors, like DeSantis and the governor out in Tennessee saying, hey, I know it's crazy up there in Seattle. We're open for business. We'll take you. Eventually, what happens with the communists? Once they get their way, if you are still stuck there, they're not going to allow you to leave. That's the next step. You're going to want to leave, and you can't. And the reason why you can't is they're not going.
This chat here, my channel, we are not no victims here, man. Educational, facts over feelings. You know what I'm saying? Nobody victims on this channel at all. And that's what the Democrat Party is, a party of victims. You never hear them say USA or anything good about America. Like, goddamn, anything good? Nothing. When Trump, one thing about Trump too, also he did for the HBCU, he gave them unlimited money. Every goddamn president made them lobby for their money. Trump said, hey, y'all keep coming here asking for money. What's going on? How much I already need to keep this shit? You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep coming in here. And the man gave them unlimited funds. Amazing. But you guys don't want to talk about that though. I'm glad he did. You know what I'm saying? You got Yale and Harvard, all these woke universities now teaching these kids all this stupid shit. So yeah, take some of that money from over here in Yale and Harvard and put it in HBCU. They think, you know what I'm saying, had unlimited funds. Why not? But y'all want to hear that though. Y'all gonna say that was Obama and Biden. He did it. No, it was Trump. Just Google it.
To allow you to leave. You're going to be stuck there. So I suggest, hey, get out while you can. These people are crazy, and there is enough of them up there that they want to continue this.
I loved what that person wrote. Democrat liberals think they're using Islam to bring in socialism. But what really is happening is Islam is using Democrats who are useful idiots to bring in Islam. That is what they're doing. Right. And why I'm saying that is they went to the hub. They went to New York, as y'all said, the financial, the capitalist foundation, everything, business, everything. And they went and they tested to see if they could take it over. And what people did was they let them take it over.
Yeah.
They supported all of this craziness that's going on. Because I was sitting down there listening, and they said that Mamdani said he wants to open up these grocery stores. He wants...
Right. He was conservative, you know what I'm saying, during COVID. You got banned on a lot of social medias. Trump even got banned. That's why Trump got too social, because he got banned off of social media. But you keep on saying he's a king, and we some idiots, and we a cult. You guys control all that shit. That's fucked up. Y'all the dictators. Y'all wanted to be the kings. Couldn't go see your grandma. Couldn't go to a movie theater unless you had a booster shot. Get the fuck out of here. You couldn't go to a certain restaurant unless you had a booster shot. You can go to a dance club unless you had a booster shot. A vaccine passport. What? Vaccine passport? Wow. Wow. Democrats. All Democrats, vaccine passport, pushing that shit.
Discounted food, but he expects the people to get high-paying jobs with full benefits. I'm economics degree person. I don't have the degrees, but the math ain't mathing, because math can't be. Something's not mathing here, and people are actually stopping and believing this, and they're like, "Yes, we support this." There was something that just came out of the New York Post. It's called Mamdani.
That vaccine wasn't effective. I don't think all vaccines are effective. No, I don't. Because I've seen people, you know what I'm saying, that have not been to the hospital in years, and they still alive. No issues. 90 years old, 80 years old, 70, different ages, never been to the hospital. They good to go. Oh yeah, Boski, having a good day. Having a good day with the chat. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man. Right, we keep on winning anyway. That's what Trump said. So much winning. We're going to keep on winning. We get tired of winning. Yeah, when they keep on saying the shot was safe and effective so many goddamn times, so many different networks, so many other bullshit, I'm like, yeah, there's something behind that bullshit. It's safe and effective. Safe and effective. The same thing they kept on saying about Joe Biden. He's sharp as a tack. I'm like, yep, there you go. We know it, yep. They go to propaganda, go to bullshit.
Is Pierre de Terre, where Mamdani
They just put out the list of all of these A-list celebrities, business owners, all these things, their secondary addresses, their secondary.
Yeah, over time, I'm pretty sure the vaccine got better, but I'm still not going to take it. And I'm not going to tell nobody else to get it either. Fuck all that shit. They already got them, but they supposed to be having chemtrails in the sky. I don't know what they're doing with the sky either. All these damn trails. What's going on?
Places. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because a good portion of those people supported Mom Donnie because y'all were the useful idiots that he needed. Y'all were the useful idiots, and he took pleasure in all of y'all supporting his crazy. And now, because y'all thought he was your ally, because he was playing tequila with y'all, I'm so tired of trying to explain to y'all that they are playing tequila with you. So he played tequila with you. He got in.
That's right.
And then he got in, and now y'all are seeing everything fall apart. I'm not going to use the word socialism because I think socialism is just a pretty word for communism. Let's just be real. Exactly. So they try to make it sound real pretty. Like, oh, socialism. No. Let's use the word. It's communism. And that's what's happening. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10, he says, for even when we were with you, we would give you this command. If anyone is not
Tony live right now. Savannah guy, he's live right now. He's live. Let's see.
It also says in Proverbs, which I love. My dad used to say this all the time. This was something that we understood how important it was to work. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief and scarcely like an armed man. Why am I saying that? Because y'all want free. It's free. You're supposed to work. In fact, it is, the Lord said it in Genesis that working was dignified. Like that was something that you were supposed to be proud of, that you were working. But all of them
cool.
free stuff. So these people are able to come in and play tequila with you, take over your places because you just hear the word free and you're like, yeah, I want it. Except it is not free because y'all are going to pay for it. Just like them saying they want to get government-owned homes, like they discussed in the video. They want to own the properties. So they're going to freeze the rent. So what's going to happen when stuff breaks? Who's going to fix it? This is why they dumb down so many of y'all in school, because it's easier to control y'all because y'all don't understand how things work. If you actually want to know stuff, you would go research communism. You'd go research what happens just economically. If someone is not paying for something, that means I have to pay for it to get it fixed.
How you doing, Angela? What's up?
They're saying they're giving food for free. Who's paying the people that's providing this food? How is this getting there? Oh, it's going to come out of my pockets. So it's never, ever free. Nothing is ever free. But y'all seem to hear the word free, and then y'all sit down and embrace the craziness. They're not going to stop in New York.
Nope.
No. Their goal is to get everywhere. And you see them popping up all over the place in different places throughout the U.S. They're commandeering the blue cities.
Right. If you're an American, you know what I'm saying, you're an American, but if you never voted and vote, then it's kind of like you got no skin in the game because, like, your opinion does matter because, you know, everybody matters. But you didn't vote, so it's like kind of confusing. Grenado.
In the blue state. But they're trying to infiltrate because I told y'all we had a few here right here in Georgia who was trying to run for governor that were part of the DSA. So
but there's enough sane people there that are saying no.
Grenado, have you ever voted at all?
That is the difference.
But a lot of these leftists, blue-haired, septum ring, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs people are trying to move to the South and bring their bad habits to the South. And
they're doing it on purpose.
That's my problem. They're trying to get rid of the bodegas. They're trying to get rid of the corner stores. Listen, I used to live for a good corner store. That's what they're trying to do. Just want y'all to understand that because y'all say that we're the slaves. No, y'all are the slaves because y'all agreed to all of this foolishness. It's time for y'all to wake up. Especially the body of Christ in New York who sits there and say, I am not going to vote. I'm not going to get involved.
Like I voted for Trump. My outcome for voting for Trump is where we at now. And I have a right to discuss on what I like about Trump or disagree about Trump or other policies of other administrations. But you say you didn't vote. So it's like, I don't know. I was like, how to take you. We get it, but if you never voted, then okay, if he was to vote, who would you voted for? How about that? If he was to vote, who would you have voted for?
Because I'm not supposed to be in politics. I'm just sojourning through.
Amen.
To eternity, but this is where you live right now. You're exiled in this life right now. So since you're in this life right now, you're supposed to be trying to protect the welfare of the nation that you're currently living in. Therefore, that means you're supposed to get up and go out and vote, because when you don't vote, evil takes over. Wherever God's kingdom is not residing, please understand, Satan's kingdom is taking over. Get up and stop being lazy. Get up and do something. Stop letting evil take over. That is y'all fault. Wake up.
I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts on any of this? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee.
Thank you guys. 2,265 subscribers. Let's get to 2,500, 2,500. Why not? I got some more videos for you guys. I'm going to keep coming with it. Because it all connects.
Underneath me is really this hidden world. In El Paso, they have this extensive storm drain system, but the cartel uses it to smuggle illegal migrants from Mexico into the U.S.
So predictably, if you wall off the southern border, criminals are going to try to dig under it. And beneath the earth, America's got drains and tunnels that lead from the border to other places, acting as a passageway for illegal operations run by cartels and gangs, who, as you're about to see, America's socialists want to enable for a very frightening reason.
We're about 1.5 miles from Mexico. It takes smugglers and illegal migrants about 45 minutes to an hour to get through here. And to give some perspective, it's hot, it's dark here, and the air quality is not great.
Masked agents violate the Constitution and visit terror upon our neighbors. They arrive as if atop a pale horse, and they leave a path of wreckage in their wake.
We must abolish ICE.
ICE has nothing to do with immigration. ICE has nothing to do with the southern border.
You don't know what's in your inbox. I have nothing to do.
What's about? Senor,
You've got people like Zoran Mamdani. Their stance on this is almost dangerous, bringing in all these illegals and essentially housing them.
Everything that Zoran Mamdani stands for is anti-American.
The border czar says more ICE agents are on their way to New York City. And what nobody's talking about is there's an effort going on right now to try and keep the border open. And this effort is being led by the socialists trying to take over our country. And they're going to do it with the help of criminal organizations. And as the world just saw, with the Democrat Party leader calling for the arrest of Israel's prime minister as a matter.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Let's continue. Thank you. You guys deserve it. Let's get it.
Of international law, the way they're going to go about this transformation of our country starts with adherence to a different system of rules, which in their minds are going to replace the laws of the country they want to take over and change forever. Which is why these communists hate U.S. immigration law, but they love the laws of the International Criminal Court for some reason. And that reason's very simple, because by rejecting America's laws and saying you're a firm believer in international laws, the communists can appeal to what they think is a higher standard to delegitimize the way our country operates. And their goal is to get as many people as possible thinking that by defying laws of the U.S. and claiming allegiance elsewhere, they're standing up for justice and liberty.
Granado, you said Trump took a crap on the Constitution. You know, Joe Biden was told to step down, and they selected Kamala Harris. She had no primary. That's not constitutional. That's not democracy. What are you talking about? Trump did nothing wrong with the Constitution. Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Kamala Harris, those people, they shit on the Constitution. Right in front of you, right in front of us. What are you talking about? Nobody voted for Kamala Harris. They just threw her up there. And she did a 100-day campaign tour. $1 billion down the fucking drain. $20 million or more in debt. What are you talking about? Trump. Shit on the Constitution. Come on, man. Come on, Granado. It's very strong. You want to get that medicine, bro. Get the medicine.
Even though if they look outside their window, those things exist in America to a greater extent than anywhere else. Which brings us to the real reason these criminal cartels and these communists all hate the U.S. border so much and want to see it wide open. Only Americans who obey the law care that it's closed. Notice that? Because it's not just the communists and the criminals, but international groups and foreign leaders who condemn President Trump for caring about border security, even though President Obama cared about border security. And that's because the country is being targeted for transformation. But you can't transform a country unless you've got another system ready to take its place. And that's where all of these allegiances come in. Not just to laws the communists don't like, but also to a different economic system, which is supposed to replace capitalism. And if they can plug this stuff in by winning elections, they think victory is just around the corner. Something criminal organizations are very hopeful they achieve. Watch.
This hidden world in El Paso, they have this extensive storm drain system.
Look at
But
this.
the cartel uses it to smuggle illegal migrants from Mexico into the U.S. Fox News got rare exclusive access. Take a look. We went deep underground. We climbed into the narrow
Terror's got nothing to do with the Constitution.
storm drains with Border Patrol's elite confined space entry team. The underground maze stretches for miles beneath El Paso. Border Patrol says there are 32 entry points from the Rio Grande and hundreds of exit points throughout the city. So,
well, that right there explains how you can have the most secure border in U.S. history and still have people getting into the country without permission. You have areas like this that are tough to monitor. It's a constant battle, and there's exit points all over the place. And what's incredibly frightening is these tunnels are incredibly dangerous. It's not like you can just go down there and get places. Nope, they're supposed to carry massive amounts of water at a moment's notice, and if you have flash flooding and these things fill up, that's going to be a problem. Which exposes the myth that these cartels are doing people a favor by helping them get into our country, and that they care not just about taking their $20,000 or $30,000 paychecks, but also
Immigration is a problem. We let people come in that's not trying to assimilate to America. Don't respect the Constitution, don't respect the people in America. These people come across the border and they hurt our women and children. Are you serious? Or they on welfare, they ain't trying to do better. We got enough people on welfare in America already. We don't need nobody else to come here for that shit. That's the problem. Keep the borders, you know what I'm saying, closed. And go from there.
also care for the actual people who are part of the humanitarian crises they create and then try and exploit. They don't care about these people. They don't care about their customers. They're putting them in danger.
Right, yeah. And some of these illegals, yes, they are coming to America for a better life. But what we've seen and heard so far, the majority of them have came here and they've got a better life, but they never assimilated. They never got their visa together. They never went to court, got the court dates, paperwork, everything together. They just here. Yeah, they getting money. They doing their thing, but they didn't assimilate all the way. So they got to go. Simple shit as that. That's not racist. Because somebody not taking care of their responsibility is not racist. That's stupid as hell.
Sometimes they get sent into these without even a guide or anyone to go with them and are told just keep going and you'll eventually figure. I mean, this is very dangerous and it's totally wrong, but it's being enabled by what? By sanctuary city policies and by people that think the border should be wide open.
Stella, I feel like he's absolutely spot on here because you've got people like Zoran Mamdani. Their stance on this is almost dangerous, bringing in all these illegals and essentially housing them. But what do you make of what Tom Homan said?
Everything that Zoran Mamdani stands for is anti-American. A country without no borders is not a country.
Well, it is. It's just a country that the communists think is ripe for exploitation because they've gotten rid of one of the things that keeps it the way it's always been, which is its system of immigration laws, something every single country has. If you go to another country without permission and you sneak in, they're going to deport you too. This is not something that only seems to happen in America. But you see, in order to take over our country, these communists, they need things that stand in opposition to the way the country runs and operates itself. That's why they hate ICE. That's why they hate immigration law. That's why they have other laws out there that they say, oh yeah, we're firm believers in international law. That's what Mayor Mondani said. I'm a believer in international law. Like he's appealing to some group of laws over here that might be anti-American in nature, have absolutely nothing to do with our country, and aren't made to care and preserve the futures of American citizens. No, you need to obey America's laws if you're in America, just like you obey Japan's laws if you're in Japan, and just like you obey Sweden's laws if you're in Sweden. But the communists need alternative systems that people appeal to and obey and swear allegiance to, because if you can get enough people who are out there who think that the U.S.'s laws are wrong and that they are in violation of international law and that our borders are a joke and shouldn't be there because these things are wrong and these things just exploit people for some reason, if you get enough people thinking that, they'll vote for the alternative, and that's where the communists come in, which explains why people putting themselves at risk just to pay off criminal organizations with tens of thousands of dollars is perfectly acceptable.
Described as a game of whack-a-mole because smugglers can pop out of almost any storm drain. But agents say they use technology to detect movement underground, to monitor entry points, and position teams to intercept groups.
Yeah, good one, Mr. Bolsky. Chat, how you guys feel about, you know what I'm saying, Tim Walsh letting some dude get off, pardon the man that sexually assaulted a 10-year-old multiple times. And he said he did it because that's part of his country. Like, dude, this is America. What are you talking about? What you do with your country and your religion? And that's the problem. Your country and religion, take that shit over there then. You are going to be a freak and a pedophile, keep that shit over there. But yet, you guys keep on calling Trump a pedophile, but yet Tim Walsh just pardoned a fucking pedophile. Literally, in Minnesota. ICE can't deport this man because he got a fucking pardon. Are you fucking serious? Do y'all research, man. Get off this TDS. It's not about Trump. Because after Trump, you know what I'm saying, being president, it's still going to be America regardless. And we got to keep America great. Period. Fuck this Muslim shit. Socialism. Fuck that shit. Shit's stupid. Communism. It's not good. We don't need it. It shouldn't be a fucking debate. It doesn't work. It doesn't.
People.
We're about a mile and a half from Mexico. It takes smugglers and illegal migrants about 45 minutes to an hour to get through here. And to give some perspective, it's hot, it's dark here.
And then the Democrats want these immigrants to come over here and have them and treat them like slaves. I thought you guys don't like slaves. But you guys okay with them being treated like slaves? Cheap labor, huh? Y'all cool with that? Oh shit, girl, I ain't finna work that job at $10. Let the Mexicans, let them illegals go ahead and work that job at $10. Shit, girl, I want that 20, I want that 30. Shit, let them illegals go ahead and get it. And now you mad? They get it. Now you looking like damn. Yeah, y'all stupid ass. You let them in. Now they get all the benefits. Now you upset. Like people in Chicago, they turned their back on the illegals. People in Chicago, they're like, get them out of here. They messed up our benefits. On the real. Yeah, the slave party. Period.
And the air quality.
That's wild. They're paying 20 grand, 30 grand.
With the border now closed, Border Patrol says traffic underground has changed. Instead of groups of 40 to 60 people moving through these drains, agents typically encounter about 2 to 3 at a time.
They're paying $30,000 to get to move through. Now, that tells you something very interesting, because back when we had the asylum crisis, you had many people who were coming into the country on what you could call the honor system. They would come into the country illegally. Smugglers and criminals would get them through the border, and then they would make their way to the interior of the country and do what? They would start working, but they would have something.
You said you asking a silly ass question. You said, Mr. Volsky, what resources are being taken from citizens? Of the ones that's on SNAP and Section 8, well, SNAP and Section 8 following Americans is getting fucked up by the illegal, because the illegals getting all the benefits that the Americans was getting already. And then it comes to having jobs, black jobs, they are taking black jobs because they are in black neighborhoods and black communities working. When the blacks should be working themselves, but most of the blacks are in Section 8 and EBT. So it's bogus way on both ends. It's bogus. But the illegals never go to a suburb or a rich neighborhood, and you guys know that. You do not see these illegals in these Karens and these Darren's neighborhood. You do not see them there. They are in the Mexican and the black neighborhoods. Period.
Called a debt that had to be repaid. And in a lot of these sanctuary cities, you've got gangs, you've got criminals, you've got Tren de Aragua and MS-13 in New York City. They're in league with the cartels. They're watching people to make sure they get jobs. They're watching people to make sure they're working to pay off these debts. But if you can only bring 3 people in some tunnel and you might get caught and you're charging $30,000 per person, you're going to bring somebody in on $30,000 on the honor system? I don't think so. These are people right now who are not fleeing poverty. If you have $30,000 that might be completely wasted if you get caught and arrested and deported.
Man, come and chat with some more information, man. This ain't anything. I love the illegals. They human. They people. Love all of them. Even the bad ones. I love them all. But at the same time, they can't come here if they ain't come here the right way, period. I'm glad you guys fighting for the illegals, but let the illegals in your house then. Tell Trump and Holman, hey, let them in my house. You're not gonna do that. And if you do, you're gonna make sure you vet that person before they get in your house. This person got they shot, what they own, they are a criminal. You're gonna ask all these questions before this person come in your house. So what's the problem with the border doing the same thing? I don't get it. So we ask when you liberals let illegal come in your house, you're gonna freeze up and walk off. Or if you have a whistle, you're gonna blow your whistle or a bullhorn, you'll use that. Insane.
That's somebody who I would say is rather well off if they've got $30,000 to throw away. Where did they get that money? Who gave it to them? What government gave it to them? Why are they willing to just blow it if they get caught in a storm drain in Laredo, Texas somewhere? That doesn't.
They should get state or federal. How about that? They should get no benefits. Earn your shit. The fuck? We got all these veterans, you know what I'm saying, living under the bridges, sleeping in tents, sleeping by police stations and shit. What are you talking about?
Doesn't make any sense. But you might be asking yourself, what happens after people pop out of one of these storm drains? What's next? How do they get to a sanctuary city? Well, put your seatbelt on.
Smugglers and cartels using these rideshare services to move illegal migrants deeper into the U.S. So we spoke exclusively with Border Patrol agents in El Paso about this. They say criminal organizations are using legitimate drivers to keep cartel members away from law.
Right, he know what he's talking about. Immigration is a federal issue. That's why you got ICE involved. What is he talking about? Good one, Mr. Bolsky. Good one.
Law enforcement.
It's bad news.
They don't want to lose a gang member. They don't want to lose a cartel member. They don't want to lose vehicles. They want to be able to use the public. And that's what our message is. Don't be used by the cartel.
So the border is so secure that when these criminals come across and they've got inside their vehicle people who are not supposed to be coming into America, they're getting caught. They're getting arrested, they're getting sentenced, and they're not coming back to the front lines, so to speak, of the war for border security in this country. These are not people who are getting caught and then turned right back around and said, hey, you got to just turn around and go back to the other side of the border. No, that's not what's happening anymore. People are getting deported. They're getting sent back to their home country, wherever that's from. And these criminal organizations, they're down on manpower. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to enlist the general public. They're scheduling Uber rides for people to get picked up in the middle of nowhere, right outside the southern border. And you know something, this is all perfectly okay with the communists because they will not admit the truth about what's going on down here. They will not admit that this is just one big operation that benefits the
rules of the channel. Everybody is welcome. You know what I'm saying? I'm Deontay, and I'm a MAGA supporter. I love Trump. I love everybody. If you don't like Trump, not a MAGA supporter, it's okay. You're all welcome to the channel. I don't care. I'll just ask everybody to respect each other. Just watching videos, educational purposes, and you know what I'm saying, have some fun with this. Because, you know what I'm saying, we don't know what's going on. The government is lying on both sides. And we all know that. But we know one side is way better than the other. Period. But no, everybody is welcome. I don't ask for no trolls and no bots. Keep on saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. Like, okay, we get it. We've seen the first few times. What are you trying to get at? Other than that, just keep on watching these videos. Let's enjoy. I live stream about like 3 hours or more. I try to live stream at least 4 to 5 times a day a week or more. I'm here. You see the F-bombs? Like, fuck. I guess you can say that. I've been saying fuck a few times. I try not to cuss that much. But if you want to cuss, you go ahead.
wrong people. And that's because they do not want the legitimacy of America's laws to keep America in place. They want America to be destroyed, transformed, remade. To do that, you need a different set of rules. You need a set of rules that open America up to what they want to do. Watch this.
So all of this stuff going on with Mayor Mamdani and the comments that he's made, first let me play part of that, and then I want to get your take on this.
There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does. And I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear.
Wow.
Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large.
So you see right there, what is the mayor doing? He's appealing.
But yeah, if you can, you know what I'm saying, if somebody need to be banned, go ahead and ban them. But, you know what I'm saying, give them a chance before you ban somebody. You know, you can block them, time them out, whatever bullshit, but don't ban them. You know what I'm saying? I want them to come back. A little time out, you know what I'm saying, is good for them. A little break. But don't ban nobody. You don't got to ban nobody. When it comes to that, Angela.
To the federal government, which is run by Trump, to get on board with the highest standard of laws out there, which is the International Criminal Court, in his mind. Even though this court has been set up to defy America and has nothing to do with America and does not have rules that place the well-being of citizens in this country first. But that's how you remake a place. You need another standard. You need to delegitimize the current standard. And this is part of that.
Well, here's how I reconcile it. We're not members of the ICC. We never signed that treaty. We never joined it. And they somehow claim that they have a right nonetheless to go after non-treaty members and put heads of state and others in jail.
Yeah.
We've long had quarrels with them. And we have lunatics and crazies involved in the ICC that are talking about charging members of the U.S. military, maybe even the president or a future president, with crimes. And this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. We are not members of that court. We never signed on to that treaty. They need to understand that. If people want to sign on and be a part of that stupid organization, they can. But we're not going to be a part of it.
Well, the socialists wish that we were, and if they start running America, we're going to sign on with something like that. Oh, yeah, and then when this court says that members of the U.S. military are heroes who are out there keeping us safe, protecting our lives and our freedoms and our liberties, when they say that all these people are criminals because they've just determined it, the communists running this place, oh, yeah, you want them? Yep, they're criminals. Get them, arrest them, ship them out. Like, this would basically be opening the floodgates to another system to come into our country and arrest Americans and put them up against a legal system that has no bearing in this country. That's why Rubio is so right on the money with this. This is a stupid treaty. This is dumb. You don't do this unless you want to destroy your country and give away the rights of your citizens. Our rights are protected by our Constitution, but they want this other set of laws above it so that they can just circumvent the whole thing and just flush our rights down the toilet.
Who gives him the right to say that? That he's not, he is the mayor, yes, but everybody else in New York has their own opinion. New York has been the center of the universe for forever. forever. And it's wonderful to see how New York always greets and accepts people of all different politics. When the General Assembly happens, all these other countries are represented. Right. That's just New York's grandeur. And for him to say that. What about if Netanyahu is a war criminal? What's the leader of Hamas who started?
Right. So a lot of people are bringing that up, but the thing you have to understand here is the socialists, they're not playing fair. They're not out there trying to have the same rules apply to everybody. They want a special set of rules that protects them and negatively affects their enemies in some way and disenfranchises their enemies. That's what they want. They would love a court system out there to have power in America that could lock up those who want America to do things they don't like.
I think that there's a hatred of the Jews,
and Mamdani,
and I don't like Netanyahu.
By the way, Mamdani apparently did say that Hamas leaders should be prosecuted in his commentary. But one of the things that stands out to me about his Netanyahu comments, okay, is that if he said this in his position as mayor, let's just say for argument, 5 years ago, the reaction versus what it is now would be much different.
Can you imagine if it was 5 years ago? It would have been.
Now it's not seen as a fringe position.
It isn't.
Right. And what's interesting about that is the mayor came out with this speech, this well-produced footage, which has this super blurry background and has him sitting at a desk with his hands folded like this, where he's talking about how he doesn't have the power to do this thing that he promised on the campaign. And there's people on the right that are jumping on this and they're saying, you know what? The mayor, he is breaking his promises to these people. He's lying about everything. He can't arrest Netanyahu. He can't deliver free buses. Look, people don't care about that. Check this out. Here's the mayor's video, and look at these comments right here. I can't believe a politician has the guts to say it. As an Italian living in Italy, that's my mayor. How did this guy make basic morals sound like what? Like, so people are applauding this speech, even though he couldn't keep a campaign promise by arresting somebody. You can't be tough on crime if you're not tough on... The idea that people who support Mayor Mamdani are looking at this as some sort of backtrack is completely false. He's just the mayor. He's appealed to the president to do the right thing and obey a different system of laws that do not have America's best interest at heart. And if the president would only get on board and do that, this would be such a happy, wonderful, magical place. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Just like opening the border would not make America a magical, happy place. If you were to open the U.S. border tomorrow and tell everybody who wants to come into our country that they're allowed to, well, guess what? You've got criminal organizations controlling vast swaths of territory in Mexico right now along the southern border. And if you tell them that they can have unlimited customers passing...
The United States Constitution defines citizenship in the 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868, which established the rules for birthright and natural citizenship. You can read the complete text. Well, that's not the bullshit. What else?
Through their territory to access America, they're going to go back to making more than the $13 billion a year they were making on getting people into America illegally. So we're just going to power up criminals if we do the one thing the communists say we should do so that this could be a magical, happy place where everyone lives forever. That's never going to change. And the only way to have a country is to enforce its laws, because if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. But the communists don't want that. They want this to be their country. And now they're all over the place. Look at this.
ICE has nothing to do with immigration. ICE has nothing to do with the southern border. ICE is an...
The name citizen appeared 11 times in the Constitution.
Normalizing paramilitary force on our streets. ICE is about weaponizing the idea of immigration against the Constitution itself. ICE cannot be reformed. ICE cannot be retrained. ICE has to be abolished.
So this guy is the new hot ticket, Abdul El Sayed, running for the U.S. Senate in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And he sounds exactly like Mayor Mamdani. This is who this political party is made up of right now. And you know something? They hate the border. The second they can get rid of it, they've achieved a victory. The second they can get international laws made up by kangaroo courts in other parts of the world to start applying to Americans who protect our country and make it great. That's the second they have a justice system in place that can start getting revenge on their political enemies. You see, these are the things they want. This is this party. If you vote for these people, there is this major pull, this tide, this riptide, bringing people further to the left. They've got to endorse this stuff. If they don't, they're not going to have a party.
I'm endorsing Abdul El Sayed for Senate.
No surprise.
Abdul is the only candidate in this race not taking corporate money, and he's fighting to get money out of politics altogether. Abdul studied to be a doctor, and he's fighting for every single American.
Yeah, except the Americans who are victims of the types of crimes his policies would turbocharge. And but he studied to be a doctor. Like as if that means that somebody has a proper view of how our country should operate while being a self-proclaimed socialist. I mean, these people, there's something happening in the Democrat Party, and it's very interesting. You got a few people out there who are like, wait a second, this whole communism thing, maybe this isn't so hot. But the rest of them, I mean, they were already so progressive, they have now progressed into communists themselves, and they are ready to jump on board with this whole thing. They love it.
Abdul El Sayed represents the politics of the future.
Yeah, really.
And if we want to not only win a Senate majority, but win a majority that actually means something.
It's going to mean something.
Win a majority that actually changes something.
It's going to change something.
Win a majority that when we have it, all we hear are excuses. But when Republicans have it, everything seems to get demolished overnight.
No, you see, they're the ones that want to demolish everything overnight with their opening of the U.S. border, with their plundering of our country. But you know something? This doesn't just stop with the free health care that everybody wants, that they were taught to want under which president? President Barack Obama, who brought us Obamacare, which was supposed to collapse our healthcare system, and is doing a pretty good job of that, making healthcare completely unaffordable for everybody who can't keep their doctor anymore and doesn't even know who their doctor is because they keep changing every single week. They want the free healthcare, but that's not good enough. Now they want the free buses. Now they want the free grocery stores. Now they want America to totally defund law enforcement and defund our military so they can just pick the house they want and live in it. So they can just have whatever they want. A brand new iPhone every year. Yeah, let's get free iPhones for everybody. I mean, this is where we're heading. We're headed to this place in America, on the left anyways, where people look at what others have and they say, I want that. And if I don't have that, life is unfair. And because they have it and I don't, the system is rigged in their favor and I'm a victim of whatever that system is. So we need to tear it down. We need to destroy it. We need to change it. We need to do something else with it. And the criminals at the southern border are all too happy to help. What do you think?
What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned.
Round and round it went. Over 111 times, Dr. Anthony Fauci, somebody who oversaw the greatest plague that modern society has ever faced, said and pled the Fifth Amendment. I've got some highlights. It was over 4 hours and 10 minutes long. The hearing today, I've also got some real breaking news that...
Like, share, subscribe, everybody, if you haven't already. Thank you.
Senator Rand Paul and the rest of the Senate committee coming up with a way to maybe possibly go after Anthony Fauci. But I first want to share this. President Trump posting this right before the hearing earlier this morning. Check this out. President Trump saying many more people died of COVID under the Biden administration than under the Trump administration. Operation Warp Speed was a spectacular success. In fact, many say one of the most successful things ever done by an American president. I overrode Fauci on this. His ideas were crazy. Also, I said from the beginning that the virus came from the Wuhan laboratory in China. Where did it come from? China. Sorry, that's just my injection there. He continues, Fauci strongly disagreed, always trying to protect China. I inherited Fauci, who was there since the 1980s, but with each passing day, relied less
and less on him. He made too many bad calls, like on masks. Remember at the beginning, he was anti-masker, then he switched to a super masker. In any event, I didn't let him shut the country down, although he wanted to. I went the Federalist way and let the governors decide. The Republican governors did a much better job than the Democrats. Fauci was largely taken out of play, and then along came sleepy Joe Biden, who made Fauci a king. I called Biden to tell him Fauci was no good. Either he didn't have a clue or was dishonest. The call was well received, but sadly not acted on. Biden went on to give Fauci vast destructive power. The rest is history. President DJT. Despite the fact that Fauci, who made an opening statement claiming that Rand Paul was obsessed with him, and on the advice of counsel, since he's obsessed with me, I invoked the fifth. There was some really powerful highlights. Check out this one right here, which I think caught everybody off guard. The entire room started cheering after Senator Rand Paul kicks Dr. Fauci's lawyer out of the hearing after he refused to leave Fauci's side. Watch this.
Against the law to obstruct an investigation of Congress, there will be repercussions to your refusal to testify today. Senator Peters. You're not recognized. You're not recognized. If you are unruly, you will be removed from the proceeding. You are not recognized, and you are not recognized, sir. Sir, you are not recognized. You are not recognized. Security. We'll hold off. But you will respect these proceedings. You were told not to sit at the table. You insist on sitting at the table. And we told you you would not be recognized. You are not invited here for testimony, sir. You are being disruptive. Would you behave this way in a courtroom? No, because the judge would put you in jail. I can't do that today, but I can have you escorted from the premises. So I would say, sir, sit quietly and don't say another word. I said, sit quietly. You are not recognized. Another word and you're gone.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hear what the attorney has to say.
He is not recognized by the committee or the chair. If he speaks again, he will be removed from the room. This testimony is from Anthony Fauci. This is not a game with his lawyers. He can advise. His lawyers can give him advice. He's got a half dozen here. They're all allowed to talk to him.
Yes.
All right? But the attorneys are not recognized. In fact, the attorney was told not to sit at the table, and he's not obeying that recommendation. There's a row behind you, sir. That's where you were told to sit, and you're not. And now you're disrupting the proceedings. And so, look, this is the way Anthony Fauci wants to be remembered. For a lawyer not listening to the rules. That's the way you want to be remembered, and that's what you're going to do. You are not recognized, sir. Security, please remove him from the room.
I just clear.
Let the record state that Dr. Fauci will still have the advice of the other half a dozen attorneys that he brought along today.
Who knew that science needed so many attorneys to defend it? I never knew science needed that many attorneys to defend it, so I think that's really interesting. But there's so much more. This is a very powerful... Again, this is over 4 hours, so I've distilled it down to what I think are the top highlights. Check out Senator Bernie Moreno, which I didn't even know he did this, but he actually uses the F word at Fauci. And I didn't know his backstory about how he sold all his businesses and that it was actually Anthony Fauci who incentivized him or radicalized him to become a senator. This is Senator Bernie Moreno, who just absolutely lost it on Fauci. You have to see this. Watch. But really quickly, just listen to this 60-second message first. Medicare is not only confusing, but it's very, very fraught with fraud, which is why I'm so proud to bring to you our amazing partner Chapter that has helped scores of our listeners and viewers. This is an absolutely free service. They are the best in the business at helping you find the right doctor, the right network, and save you a ton of money. Check out some of these amazing testimonials. This is Melody Spurlock, who says, Mike Falcon was wonderful, one of the reps. He was so patient and caring, even though I went many directions with a lot of questions. He was able to answer them all. I found a plan that helped me. Thanks, Mike. And then Doug here says, I'm very happy I called Chapter. Ryan got me over $1,500 in saving a year. It was $10 a year. And tell him Professor Nez says hello.
And watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people. I will make it my mission to make certain that every single one of those Democrats who did that will see that clip over and over and over again. Because there is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So you won't apologize to the military members who Joe Biden summarily dismissed from the military for not taking the vaccine?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the business owners that lost their business, shattered their lives, and they'll never recover?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the moms who had to force their infant children, 2, 3, 4-year-olds, to put masks on, and what that did and how that traumatized those kids?
Advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the family members of the people who died because they took your advice and not only got the first vaccine, but the 5, 6 other boosters that they did not need?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
I want to show you another clip from Moreno's questioning of Fauci. I thought this was extremely telling. First of all, why can't you just apologize? Do you think that Fauci should have, I want to hear from you. Do you think that Fauci should have at least at the very, you don't have to invoke the Fifth. And by the way, Hawley is 1,000,000,000% right. Under his presidential pardon, he has full immunity. And so this is why, stick around, I'm going to tell you about contempt charges for his invoking of the Fifth today and what that entails in just a second. But do you think that Fauci should at the very least have said, I'm sorry? Well, if you do, I also think he could have at the very least turned around in his chair. Watch this. This is so amazing. And faced the people whose lives were destroyed because of his policies. Watch this.
The 6-foot rule was total crap. If you thought the vaccine wasn't something that you should take, if you thought it was outrageous the way the mask policy was rolled out, if you were fired from your job for not taking that vaccine, including members of the military, if you thought closing schools was catastrophically stupid, and that you thought that during these times saying these things made made you somehow a lesser human being. Dr. Fauci, can you just turn around and look at the people behind you?
Yeah.
You're not willing to do that?
Hell no.
That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyers, not a question. It's a request.
Why do you need to turn to your lawyers?
All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely shamed for saying what we know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them?
Wow.
That's a question. Are you able to look at them? You can sit down in the audience.
I mean, even Zuckerberg turned around to look. I think it was against his advice of counsel, or I don't know. I can't remember. During that hearing, when Facebook was faced with charges of harming young people, and there were family members in the hearing room, and he even turned around. I mean, how can you not turn around and look at these people if that's unless you're just racked with guilt, or you're just a cold, heartless, lifeless, bloodless, evil cretin? I don't know. Senator Hawley, because I love Hawley. You guys know how much I love Hawley. There was mention earlier about how.
Right, Mr. Boski. You know what I'm saying? Biden and Harrison said, I ain't gonna take the vaccine because it was under Trump. And then when they got in power, now they're gonna push the vaccine. First the vaccine, they was hesitant. I don't know about that. It's under Trump. I don't know. You guys remember that bullshit? Then all of a sudden they got in power. Now they on TV with their sleeves up, taking a shot. Get the fuck out of here. You guys believe that too. You Darrens, you Karens. Look, the president, he got a shot. Okay, let's get mine. Really? Amazing.
How much he loved himself, how much everything. There was so much evidence. I dissected the 1100 public diary, secret diary made public by Rand Paul. I was just as alarmed as I think everybody was, how much Fauci cared about his public image and loved himself and loved the attention. Check out what Hawley did, mic dropping Fauci in just beautiful fashion.
This was really all about you the whole time. Somewhere along the way, you lost your way. You may have been a good public servant at one time, I don't know. But I can tell you from...
Right, you lose your job. The police officers and military, motherfuckers lost their job, man. Or people quit their job because of the shot. They're like, man, fuck that shot. I quit my job because of the shit. I'm like, fuck this shit. I go to something else. I'm not gonna keep on going to my work wearing a mask and constantly asking me where I've been and all the other stuff. All these questionnaires. Nah, I'm cool. Fuck all that. That's all government. We don't know where you been, where you at, and once again, the vaccine passport. The motherfuckers getting 5 booster shots just to go overseas. I'm like, man, fuck all that. I can wait to go overseas. I don't need no shot to go overseas. Fuck it. I don't gotta go there. The motherfuckers like, man, I gotta go. I gotta go to Puerto Rico. Man, I gotta go to Mexico. I'm like, oh, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? You're a passport, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna fuck on them hoes. Go fuck on them hoes. Go ahead. I'm cool. Fuck all that. Fuck that shot. Motherfuckers got blood clots. People have died from them vaccine shots.
Reading your emails now.
And then the doctors and the funeral homes, they lied. People got hit by a bus, but they said they got hit by people got hit by a bus, but they said they died from COVID. Like, no, he died from a bus accident. He didn't die from COVID. He died from a bus accident. But they're gonna say he died from COVID. They got paid. Motherfuckers got paid from COVID, man. On real. They lied a lot.
Now, from looking at what you did, how you used your employees, somewhere along the line, it became all about you. You became a narcissist and a megalomaniac and a liar. And you've lied to the American people, and you've lied to this body. And you've disgraced your profession by doing it. You called yourself the most famous scientist in the world. You've done more to harm science than anybody in my lifetime. And I hope you'll go home and write that in your diary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I love this guy. I just love Hawley. Here's just one example of Fauci. There's dozens, if not hundreds of examples. While this guy's posing, we must never forget this, America. While this guy's posing, reveling in his own fame, It's like the nerd from high school finally getting some attention in a pathetic way. Somehow, I mean,
Granado, not everybody's MAGA in the chat, man. You're getting it all misconstrued. Not everybody in this chat is MAGA. You know what I'm saying? So you need to calm yourself down, man, with these name calling. Just relax, man. Enjoy the video.
exploiting what he's done to the, not only America, to the world. He's posing, look at him sitting there posing for InStyle magazine while families all over the world had to go through this. We must never forget. We must never forget. Okay, now here's the good part. So he has presidential immunity. He has a pardon from Biden. And the interesting thing is, I want to show you this. This is really interesting. The pardon goes all the way back to 2014. Do you know what else happened in 2014? The NIH awarded a grant to study bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Really makes you wonder. Goes all the way back to 2014. I mean, this is diabolical. There's no other way of putting it. It's absolutely diabolical. But here, Senator Paul informs Fauci that he's breaking the law for refusing to answer questions. Watch this.
In the red folder on your table is a copy of Section 192 of Title II of the U.S. Code. Your counsel has been provided a copy as well. That section makes it a crime for a witness appearing under subpoena to refuse to answer any questions pertinent to the question under inquiry. Do you have that in front of you?
On the advice of counsel,
you can't even say you have it in front of you?
Based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
What a pathetic.
Let the record record that the witness has refused to answer whether there's a folder in front of him based on his Fifth Amendment right.
Okay, so there's that. Then Rand Paul announces the committee will be voting to hold, because I know everybody wants to see this happen. Everybody is sick and tired of all the kind of political theater. I'm with you on that. Well, check this out. Rand Paul announces they will be voting to hold Dr. Fauci in contempt of Congress after he invokes.
Why are they walking on eggshells if they came here the right way? That makes no sense. I don't get it. What you talking about? They walking on eggshells. That's you shouldn't have to walk on eggshells. It came the right way, man. It's simple as that.
The Fifth Amendment over 111 times. This carries up to a year in prison time, which is not enough for him, but at least it's something. Listen.
But he was subpoenaed here to testify, refused to answer any questions, even after being directed by the chair and being advised of the law requiring him to do so. He has cited a privilege that is unsupported because of his blanket pardon and because he waived the privilege by testifying at the start. I'm going to give you one more opportunity to comply with the law, limited to the period of your pardon. At any point between January 1st, 2014 and January 19th, 2025, did you destroy any federal record or tell anyone else to?
Of course he's not going to answer.
Under the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Given that you have a unlimited presidential pardon, what is your specific objection that you are making?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
My question was limited to the period of your pardon only. I find your objection unsupported and direct you to answer the question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Because you refused to answer, citing a privilege that is unsupported because of your pardon, and after being denied to do so, this committee has scheduled a vote next week on a resolution certifying your contempt.
So again, that if that contempt charge holds, that's up to a year in prison.
Yeah, perfect example. Kamala Anthony, he stabbed somebody. 17, 18 at the time. No background, 3.0 GPA, star athlete. What did he do? He fucked up. He stabbed somebody to death. Now he's in jail for 35 years. What are you talking about? You can be a great lawyer, a great actor. You drink too much. You get behind the wheel of a car. You drive, you hit somebody. They die. You go to jail for the rest of your life. What are you talking about? They came here the wrong time. They came here the wrong way. Yeah, that's bogus. But some of them, most of them, they got here. Guess what happened? They raped and killed people when they got here. They broke the law getting here. Then they get here. Then they rape and kill people. What are you talking about? Only one time. One time is enough. Period.
For Dr. Anthony Fauci, I just want to close by saying this, and I can't wait to get your thoughts on all of this. He knew this was coming. He was subpoenaed. He had plenty of time to prepare. He knew this was going to be televised. He knew the entire world was going to see this. If he was such a believer and defender, an ardent, arduous advocate of the sciences.
Right. I work at a warehouse, and in this warehouse, they do things where they call challenges, where they test the product before they push it out. Now they call, once they test the challenges or the product, they scrap it. Once it's scrapped, they throw it away, they burn it away. But it's so much scrap that, you know what I'm saying, like, damn, they finna scrap all of this and burn it and throw it away, and it's still good to be used. You got to throw it away. You got to scrap it. You can't put it in your pocket and take it home and use it or whatever. It has to be thrown away like it's supposed to be. But if they're going to scrap it, they're going to throw it away. They ain't going to miss it. You still stealing. You still stealing. Regardless. So honest, you know what I'm saying? He's still stealing.
Why not take this opportunity to dismantle these guys? What are you so afraid of? If you're on the side of right, like, I get it, you don't want to incriminate yourself, but it would be one thing if he didn't have a full presidential pardon by Tombstone in Chief. Shame on him, by the way. Vegetable in Chief Biden. He has full immunity. He can literally say whatever he wants. This could have been such a vast, powerful, impactful opportunity. Forget about proving the senators or proving the Republicans or proving his...
George Floyd, rap sheet. The man got like a rap sheet about how long? About this long? The man kept on doing stupid shit. George Floyd kept doing stupid shit to the point where he ended up going to the store with a bogus ass 20, asked 3 times to produce the right money that they need to pay for what he got. And he refused. They called the cops on his ass. And then he ended up not complying. And him and the cops, they both should have complied with each other. But the cop, you know what I'm saying, did what he did. And it was stupid. He should have got up, showed the world that, hey, he's not complying. But Floyd had a pill on his tongue before the cops came to see him. Just watch the video. It's out there. The cop walk up to the driver's side of the window. George Floyd had the window down. You can see a white tongue. He sit on his tongue. There's a white pill on his tongue. You gotta slow it down. You will see it. He took a pill before he even got arrested. Then he started tweaking. He couldn't sit still. He all of a sudden got claustrophobic all of a sudden. Like, dude was in the truck with like 3 other people. And the truck he was in was kind of small. And he's a big dude. They put him in the back of a truck. He started freaking out. Put me on the ground. Put me on the ground. So they kept on working with the man. They loosened the cuffs. They let him lay on the truck. He didn't want to comply to that. He said, lay me on the ground. And they went on the ground. And then it got worse from there.
Obsessors wrong. How about us, Dr.
How do MAGA loves fraud in Minnesota? That's a Democrat state and city. Ian Omar and the Somalis are not Republicans or not MAGA. So what you talking about? We love fraud. $19 billion in Minnesota? That's not a red state. What you talking about, Kenyon? Stop the bullshit.
Dr. Fauci, how about the American people who have gone through hell, are still going through hell, with all intents and purposes? You know, there's things called long COVID. Those Trump...
Empathy and common sense, is, you know what I'm saying, goes a long way. Yeah, so it's okay to break the law. So you want somebody to go break into your house, you have empathy for them for breaking into your house? No, you're not. And if that's the case, then send illegals to your house then, Granado.
Still haven't healed, even 6 years later. I would even venture to say, I would go far as to say that, and tell me if you experience this too, I think a major continental shift, like the plates of society, the tectonic plates social intersectionality, personal relationships, and everything related to civilized society. I think there was such a magnificent shift after 2020. Whereas before 2020, I don't know, it just seemed like there was more breathing room. It seemed like there was more connection, if you will.
That's what's up.
There was more humanity, if you will. I think so much has changed that's maybe irreparable after 2020. This was your opportunity, Doc, to help the American people, to console, to heal.
Probably more, I don't know.
And what did you do? Even with presidential immunity, what did you do? You invoked the Fifth. You're 85 years old. You have full presidential immunity. And you took this opportunity to defend the science, to prove that you were on the side of right, to show and demonstrate to the world that what we went through was not in vain. And you chose silence, and you cowered, and you hid, and you fled. What else can one surmise other than you are 1 billion% guilty? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
You said Elon Musk has done nothing. What? Elon Musk hasn't done anything corrupt. She has not profited. So how in the fuck did Omar go from $30 million to all of a sudden down to 90,000? She went from 90,000 to 3 million. She went from 90,000 to 30 million, and 30 million down to 80,000. How does that work? How does that work? Dakota, you all good? Welcome to the chat. You're a moderator. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi. You know what I'm saying? Queen of trade. Excuse me on that. All right, chat. My wife is home early. I'm gonna go ahead and barbecue. It's nice outside. I'm gonna go ahead and barbecue. I'll be back tomorrow. I might be back later on tonight, depending what time I get done barbecuing. But like, share, subscribe to the channel, you guys. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah. No problem. Yeah. All love. My wife, she loves you guys too. You know what I'm saying? I've been letting her know about the chat, how my conversations be with you guys and what I see and what I read, you know. She love you guys too. Appreciate it. We growing together. We growing. I'll be back tomorrow.